dream into a reality. At Knoxville Smiles, we're more than just a dental practice. We're your partners in achieving optimum oral health. From routine cleanings and checkups to advanced cosmetics and restorative procedures, we offer a wide range of services in an environment that makes every visit a positive and comfortable experience. At Knoxville Smiles, it's about more than just treatments. We're focused on creating a welcoming environment where you feel like family. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed with your comfort in mind, and our friendly staff is always ready to address your questions and concerns. Don't wait any longer to achieve a beautiful smile you deserve. Schedule your appointment at Knoxville Smiles today and take that first step towards a healthier, happier you. Call us at 865-539-1776 to book your appointment today, or just visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
WKGN 1340. Go Vols!
You're tuned in to East Tennessee's premier sports radio call-in show. This is The Drive.
And hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another stellar edition of The Drive here on Fan Run Radio. Russell Smith punching the time clock at 3:02 on a glorious Wednesday in East Tennessee alongside Bob Baskerville. We've got Barron Walker through the glass this afternoon. We've got you calling and texting at 865-966-3435. And we have a jam-packed lineup this afternoon. Big one today as we get ready for the big game. Adam Sparks of KnoxNews.com coming up here in a mere matter of moments. Then in hour number 2, our old pal Mike Griffith of the AJC is going to stop by. And in hour number 3, Pete Nakos of On 3 joins the festivities. He had an interesting piece with Joey Aguilar's father. Joey Aguilar, his dad says that if you look at the stats through 2 weeks, there's no doubt who won the Nico for Joey trade, and they are just thankful to be in this position. Shots fired across the country to kick the week off.
That's excellent. But, I mean, you knew that coming. That was one of my takeaways from the game on Saturday was you juxtapose Joey's play on the field, the Aguilar family themselves. They look really happy to be here and thankful for the opportunity. And I think that I feel better about it because I feel like this kid and this family knows, what a big deal it is to be able to play for Tennessee.
One of us. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
To me, it's much different than it felt like the former family kind of treated themselves like they fancied themselves as royalty around here. These guys, this family is relatable, I think, for everybody. And the production's great, too, so far. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. So we'll break it all down here this afternoon. We are 48 hours away from a special Football Friday broadcast of The Drive. We will be live this Friday afternoon from 3 to 6 at Ash's Bearden Beer Market, presented by our good friends at Garage Beer. Your first chance to come out and have a garage beer or two with us this season. We've got them for $2.50 a pint at Ash's Bearden Beer Market all throughout the day on Friday. So come out and get that, plus the 12 packs to go for just $12. And they gave me a little more info on that. So it's a rebate you get. You'll buy the 12 pack for $16, which is still a fine deal. But then we've got a QR code you can scan. And as soon as you do that, the good folks at Garage Beer will put $4 directly back into your account via Venmo or PayPal. So come on out and support the brand, support Garage Beer, show them a little love this Friday as we broadcast live from Ash's Bearden Beer Market on Kingston Pike, Old Kingston Pike, right over there on Lions View Road. And Bob, it looks like the weather is going to be very cooperative.
I was out this morning early, but then I've been in the house most of the day till I came over to do the show, and I'm a little bummed about that. It is fantastic outside, and that's how it's supposed to be the rest of the week too. So life's good. Life is good.
We've hit that part of September where it's like beautiful for like 3 weeks straight.
I mean, sometimes it's scorching hot. I mean, I remember being over there for that Florida game when we finally broke the streak in 2016, melting like I was on the surface of the sun. So it kind of feels like it. Maybe I'm tempting the wrath of the whatever high atop the thing even saying this. But it kind of feels like we're done with all that, the scorching hotness. So,
wow. I hope you're right, man.
Yep. We'll see. Who plays tomorrow? Do we have a college game tomorrow?
There's definitely a college game.
I know there's an NFL.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get this thing started, man.
So what's your anxiety level at? Let's go around the room. One being you've just gotten a shot of liquid Valium, and 10 being, the end of the world's happening.
By the way, speaking of the first drug reference of the show, liquid Valium, it won't be the last. Public service announcement. I scheduled my first ever colonoscopy today.
When's
I was expecting, hey, way to go, Russ.
I'm glad.
I just get Bob goes,
It's not, I think it's not as bad as everybody told me. It's the prep that's the hard part.
And for me, it's not even the prep. They don't make you drink the liquid anymore. Ask for the pills.
Yeah, well,
it's you cannot eat anything other than broth or clear liquids
for the whole day before.
Yeah, that's what sucks.
I know that's what, and because they were wanting to schedule this, and I was like, well, because they're like, well, the doctor he'll see you like a 1:30, and I'm like, well, I can't do that because I have this show. I don't want to be like show up an hour after having this procedure done, still on sedation. And they're like, oh, you can't work that day. Like
no,
you won't.
Can't.
I'm like, so I got to sit here and do the show on an empty stomach? Like, that sounds terrible. And then
That's
take
why
the
you
next
had to
day
schedule
off.
it for a Monday.
I scheduled it for the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. I'm violating my own HIPAA rules here.
Tuesday before Thanksgiving. I mean, that may work out to being the best.
I won't be here.
You won't be here?
No.
Oh. We really need
It'll be the Baron Walker show. As Russell
we'll let you connect in with
recovers,
a head full of
drugged
propofol.
up from wherever.
I could connect in for what it's worth, but
we'll worry about that when we get to it. Well, good for you, Russ.
Thank you, Bear.
I'm serious.
I don't know. I mean, we'll find out.
I mean, we all know.
If I come back the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, talking about I'm finna die.
No, you would have known.
They found it, the cancer.
You would have already.
No, I wouldn't have known. That's why I'm getting it done, because I wouldn't know. That's the entire point of the colonoscopy, so that they can tell you whether or not you've got the thing.
Well, what I'm saying is, it would.
If I knew, I wouldn't be doing it. I would just get it treated.
Good God, man! If they find something on your first colonoscopy, there's a high probability that they've caught it super duper early. If it's not super duper early, you know when something's wrong down there.
Anyway, what were we talking? Oh, yes. Thursday football, let's see, as we consult the old ESPN.com.
You got the high school game as well?
NC State, Wake Forest.
Ooh, the Demon Deacons.
I can dig it.
Little ACC action.
Then on Friday, we have a rivalry as old as time between Indiana and Indiana State.
That's not a rivalry.
That sounds stimulating.
What do they call that in the Hoosier State, Bob?
They don't.
They don't have a nice little trophy or something they give away?
For that
What's crazy is those schools are only about 70 minutes apart. They're very close, but no,
I didn't even know Indiana State had a football team.
They're FCS.
Yeah, they had they
played us here in about it's been a while, like 8 or 9 years ago. They played here.
The Sycamores. What was the story about Larry Bird? Why he decided he didn't want to go to, or he did go to Indiana for like a day?
Too big. It was too big, and so he went.
Was it too big, or was it too Bobby Knight?
Well, maybe, but he went and then was a trash man,
yeah.
Garbage man for a little while, and decided,
really,
I got to get back into school. And he ended up in Terre Haute.
They show part of it on Winning Time.
Right,
it shows him. He would play basketball against like the other garbage men. They'd have these pickup games.
Yeah,
Colorado plays on Friday at Houston with their new quarterback. Cougars are a 5.5-point favorite there, so you can do the whole Dion thing. And then this is actually interesting. So Nico at Night is on Friday this week.
Perfect.
Set your DVRs for Nico at Night on the Big Ten Network as the 0-2 Bruins host the 1-1 Los Lobos of New Mexico.
Yeah, the Bruins are a 15.5-point favorite.
This is one of the last opportunities for them this year to get a win.
Yeah.
And it's week 3. That team is garbage.
Well, I mean, on one hand, I do kind of feel sorry for Nico, but on the other hand, he and his dad did this to themselves.
We're out there welcome, man.
Yeah, it's a little bit of comeuppance, and brings us back to Joey Aguilar as Tennessee got that trade. I mean, we never would have heard of Joey Aguilar if he would be. I don't know that he would be faring any better than Nico in this situation, but
no, that's a bad team, like Bear said. I mean, Deshaun Foster is not long for that gig. He may not make it
way
through the
over his
season.
head, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. One of the things we'll talk with Nakos about later, I was mentioning it outside before we started the show, this piece that he dropped on 3 earlier today, where he talked with Joey's dad. They gave a little backstory. I did not realize, it makes me feel good, actually, that both Ole Miss and Tulane, they were kicking the tires on Joey as well. But he chose Tennessee. Wise choice.
Interesting.
Well, Ole Miss had their guy in place, so they would have been bringing him in to compete there, correct?
With Austin Simmons, yes. At the time, Tulane really didn't have much. They ended up winning out with Retzlaff coming over from BYU, but that was unexpected. But yeah. By the way, on the live chat on Fan Run TV, Josh says, hey, let's hope Saturday doesn't feel like a colonoscopy. Am I right?
No. Maybe I should have scheduled it for Saturday. Time will tell. Tune into Voluntary Reaction to find out. So we got a lot going on in the college football universe here this afternoon, not the least of which is, we talk about Schadenfreude watching our enemies struggle with a slight grin on our face, or maybe a big grin and a belly laugh, depending on how sadistic you are. But down in Gainesville,
go Gator.
Florida fans are going through it. Coming off a disappointing loss to USF, and with a Saturday night date with LSU in Death Valley in Baton Rouge, things don't look to be getting any better anytime soon. And many people down there already turning their attention to who will be the next head coach of the Gators. Frank Frangie on 10 to what? I haven't even said
No, I know.
You know where I'm going?
Yeah,
okay.
but the name the name's got some.
Frank Frangie.
Yeah, it feels like we're watching Goodfellas or something.
Frankie. Frangie. Come on over here. Frankie 2 times. I said 2 times.
Yeah, you know who told me.
We're going to get Gruden. We're going to get Gruden.
Frankie Frangie says Gruden's coming this way. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Gruden.
I love Tennessee. I got a lot of orange blood in my body.
Here is Frank Frangie on 1010 XL in Jacksonville yesterday.
If Billy Napier gets fired, and I think he's going to, John Gruden will be in play for that job. Wow. Doesn't mean he'll get it, but listen to me again. I think and I never take, you know me, I don't go there. How many times you see me roll my eyes when someone goes somewhere like that, right? Mm-hmm. I think John Gruden has had conversations in the past with people who care about Florida's interests. I'm not going to tell you he's talked to Scott Strickland or the president. I don't know that. If he has, I don't know that he has. John Gruden desperately wants back in. And he desperately wants a college job. That's widely known. He doesn't want an NFL job. He wants a head college job. He's made that known on his Barstool stuff. That's not a secret. He's a very good football coach. He wants back in. He's stayed in with. He's still in Tampa. He meets with coaches all the time. I can give you a list of guys he meets with. And it's time for Florida to do something spectacular. I think John Gruden will be in play to be the next head coach at the University of Florida if Billy Napier is fired. And I feel strongly about that. Might not get it. They may never come together. I may be wrong, and Scott Strickland may have no interest in it. But I believe there will be a conversation.
I love, absolutely, my favorite thing about the John Gruden and the groomers, that dude is always putting a staff together, talking to people. He's always consulting, meeting with, all the way back to the Dunwoody days.
Frank had a little Goodfellas in him. And at one point, he goes, I'm not going to tell you where I heard, but I heard.
I got a guy over across the river.
Yeah.
Told me a thing.
Yeah.
Got a guy who owes me a favor. Well, we'll see. I mean, that would be as Frangie put it, spectacular hire for Florida. And Gruden has said that he wants to coach college ball. He wants to coach in the SEC. It doesn't look like the stars are ever going to align for that to happen in Knoxville. But, man, oh, man.
I'd rather see Gruden there than Golish.
Could you imagine John Gruden leading the Gators out of the tunnel in the swamp against Tennessee?
It's nauseating to think about, but
I think it's a potential disaster. I would agree. I'd rather have him there than Golish or someone else.
Kind of hope it happens?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want Golish anywhere near a program with that kind of resources against us. That level of just talent dripping from every corner. You walk out your office at Florida, and what's the old adage? You can throw a rock and hit a 4 or 5 star.
Will John Gruden be coaching in the SEC next year?
I don't think next year.
Put the pole in the field.
I kind of think he will.
I think he will too.
Keeping it on point here. Vols GBO says, I'd rather have a colonoscopy every week than to see John Gruden go to Florida.
Every week?
Every week.
Nah, you wouldn't, bro. You never had one. Nobody's had one would ever make such a terrible.
Would you have a colonoscopy every week for the rest of the season if it meant Tennessee goes 12-0, wins a national championship?
Oh, if they went like what?
Yeah.
15, 16-0?
Yeah, 16-0. So you have 16 colonoscopies.
Yeah, I would, man. I got to say I would for that.
Well, you wouldn't let the guy spit in your face yesterday, but you do the colonoscopies.
It's like.
It's less disrespectful.
I mean, you're sound asleep. You don't remember anything.
I just go ahead and take the spit in the face, get it all done in one fell swoop.
Nah.
Coming up, Adam Sparks joins us to class the place up a little bit. KnoxNews.com. Josh Heupel and the Volunteers preparing for another inflection point game early in the season this time against Georgia. We'll talk to Sparks coming up next year on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive.
105.7 FM, 1340 AM. Online at fanrunradio.com and streaming on the free Fan Run Radio app. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Citizens National Bank.
We believe a good game plan is essential for success. With a CNB Plus Perks checking account, you'll save money with cell phone protection, roadside assistance, identity theft protection, and more. Banking at CNB has its perks. Find out more at cnbtn.com.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
Have you ever found yourself wishing your clothes looked brand new again? Whether it's your favorite suit, that little black dress, or your comfy winter coat, Crown Cleaners can make it happen. From stubborn stains to delicate fabrics, the expert team at Crown Cleaners uses the latest cleaning technology to ensure your clothes come back looking and feeling fresh. Visit one of their 2 area locations, Kingston Pike on Bearden Hill or South North Shore Drive near Dunkin' Donuts. Online at crowncleaners.com. Crown Cleaners, a tradition of excellence.
Ready to launch your career? Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bree from Malone & Costa Dentistry at Knoxville Smiles. Have you been putting off getting dental treatment? Maybe you're embarrassed, or you're worried that you'll be judged, or maybe you're worried that you will be treated as just another set of teeth rather than a person. If so, I would like to invite you to visit us at Malone and Costa Dentistry at Knoxville Smiles. We will meet you wherever you are in life to help you feel good about you. Call us at 865-539-1776 to set up an appointment, or go online to knoxvillesmiles.com.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced, Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service. 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit MatlockTireService.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
Good afternoon. It's been slow out in Roane County. At least it was.
Afternoon. Pleased to be joined by Adam Sparks of KnoxNews.com. Good afternoon, Adam. How are you, sir?
Not bad. How you guys doing?
Man, what a week. I mean, we got perfect weather for a perfect SEC matchup. It's very exciting. And we've been talking a lot about, Adam, how, Josh Heupel, he's climbed these different mountains, right? He's beaten Florida. He's beaten Alabama, even with Nick Saban down there. But Georgia remains his kryptonite. What would a win Saturday mean for Tennessee and Josh Heupel's program?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, that would be the last hurdle, at least head-to-head hurdle. If you did that, then it would get more to, well, now you got to get deep into the playoffs. That would be the next hurdle, I guess. It wouldn't necessarily be an opponent. It would be a round. If Tennessee wins on Saturday, I think the fans will storm the field. That's the last opponent you would need to storm the field for, I would imagine, in a home game. Joey Aguilar would be a mythical figure immediately. Then it would change Tennessee's season in that, by Saturday night, Tennessee would be in the driver's seat for the SEC race. They'd be in everybody's college football playoff projections. We'd be talking about, who do they need to beat to get a home game in the playoff? I mean, all those things would be very realistic. It's a big leap to say what happened if Tennessee won, but if they won, that's what we would be talking about on Saturday night.
Adam, Bob and I were talking yesterday about how, Heupel has had success. The defining matchup of this series to me has been Heupel's offense versus Kirby's defense, right? I mean, it's an offensive mastermind versus a defensive guru. Heupel has had success running his system against Nick Saban's defense. And it's the same thing, right? That Kirby runs. What's the difference? Why is it he's unable to score past the 20-point mark against Kirby, but he put up 51 against Saban a couple of years ago and has had no trouble with Bama, at least offensively?
Yeah, I mean, somewhat. They are similar. Number one, Kirby is a phenomenal game day coach. I mean, if you look back at the one time Heupel beat Saban, it was the right scenario. Now maybe this is the right scenario where it's a home game. It's early in the season. A lot of things have to align right for you to pull off a win like this. And so, I mean, if Heupel would have played Saban again, would he have beat him at Neyland? I don't know. So things have to align. The defenses are similar. It's just that I think that's why this one feels different, and I guess why it's harder, why it's still hanging around, because every game between these two coaches has kind of come off the same. And yeah, you mentioned it, what the bad matchup is. Here's why I think it's been a bad matchup. Tennessee, the whole point of Tennessee's offense, of Josh Heupel's offense, is to get those wide splits, spread everybody out, and you try to isolate far out on the outside for matchups. In other words, if you're playing Mississippi State or Kentucky or whoever, you say, hey, my receiver against your corner with a wide split, you can't beat my receiver. So you're going to have to bring some safety help over the top, and then you get better numbers in the box, and you can run the ball or throw the ball in the middle of the field. That works almost every opponent. Against Georgia, there's actually a downside to it, because Georgia says, awesome, you mean our corner versus your receiver one-on-one? We'll take that every time. And they instead will leave players in the box because they think that their first-round caliber corner can just beat a Tennessee receiver one-on-one, and that's worked out more times than it's not. Josh Heupel has countered some in the past couple of years, by going a little more tight formations, trying to keep things in the middle of the field, try to run the ball. And I think that's probably what they'll do Saturday, too. It's just those wide splits and spreading everybody out. It can work to some extent, but it can't work for 4 quarters against Georgia. The personnel is just too good.
Adam, thanks for joining us. One thing that I'm very intrigued about, because obviously there's all sorts of storylines that are potentially in play in this game, but the one to me that's kind of undeniable is the story at quarterback between Joey Aguilar and what we've seen so far, which has been a really successful start, but against inferior opponents. And then Gunnar Stockton, who is the guy in Georgia at the moment, but has not really necessarily had that much run in terms of being QB1 there. So you could argue coming to Knoxville, this is going to be an atmosphere like he's never seen. However, he did play in a college football playoff game in the Sugar Bowl last year. Do you think that this whole Neyland factor is something that cannot be overlooked when you're thinking about what Gunnar Stockton's going to bring in this game?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly could be. Obviously, like we talked about, you've got to have subtle differences for this to be pulled off. And one difference would be quarterback. I mean, he can run it, but he can't run it as well as Stetson Bennett. He can throw it, but he can't throw it as well as Carson Beck. He's not proven. Those other two guys had done it numerous times. You knew you were going to face a high-caliber quarterback. We don't know if Gunnar Stockton is a high-caliber quarterback yet. We know he was a high-end recruit, and we know he's running Georgia's offense, which has always had a lot of success, but he started these last 2 games. He hasn't thrown the ball downfield. I mean, he's thrown the ball behind the line of scrimmage more times than he's thrown it downfield. So they've been very conservative with him. Tennessee's going to have to get in his face. That noise is going to have to bother him. And, we talk all about Tennessee's offense not being able to put up enough points against Georgia. Its defense has been okay at times, but the pass rush has never gotten there. Didn't get to Bennett, didn't get to Beck. In the 4 games between Heupel and Kirby Smart, Georgia has had 18 sacks. Tennessee's had 3. I mean, that's crazy, because you think they've got to get to the quarterback, some quarterback hurries, but you also got to get at least like 2 or 3 sacks in a game for that to make a difference. And Tennessee's, I guess, averaged less than 1 per game.
Do we think Tim Banks brings some more pressure? I mean, what do you do there? Is it just you got to have the players? I mean, Tennessee had a first-round pick on the defensive line last year and struggled to get home. What do you do, Adam? Do you think that they change it up schematically with what they're doing defensively and bring some more pressure, or can you afford to do that when one of your starting cornerbacks is going to be a true freshman playing in his first SEC game?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got to at least try to bring pressure early and see if that rattles Gunnar Stockton. Again, the difference is that we knew Stetson Bennett knew what to do with the ball if pressure came. We knew Carson Beck knew what to do if pressure came, and they performed it that way. We don't know how Gunnar Stockton will react to that, because in the same way that Joey Aguilar has not faced pressure the first two games, Gunnar Stockton hasn't either. So Tim Banks will want to see how he reacts to that. Last year's game, Tim Banks sort of held things back and said, hey, we've got an elite defensive line. You got to get there rushing 4 or 5. And he just never really brought a lot of pressure, didn't blitz that much, sort of hung back. But he knew who he was facing. I think he's got to bring pressure this time, especially if you can get Stockton into a 3rd and long. But, Georgia, like Tennessee, they want to run the ball. They also have a trio of backs. They've got a talented offensive line, but like Tennessee, 4 new starters. So these two teams mirror each other a little more than past teams have. But Georgia's still got a lot of talent on defense. I've got a piece coming out in the morning where I look at the precisely like sort of the blue chip ratio of the guys that are going to play in this game, not the whole team, but more of like the 40 guys that will probably be in the rotation on both sides of the ball. And if you look at it in that way, Tennessee's defense and Georgia's offense are pretty close to each other in terms of blue chip guys, 4-star, 5-star guys. But the mismatch comes when you look at Georgia's defense versus Tennessee's offense. Tennessee's offense is, if you really look at it, a lot of the guys were not rated at a high school or were 3-star guys. Joey Aguilar was under-recruited. Deshaun Bishop was a 3-star walk-on. Chris Brazel was a 3-star. Wendell Moy was a 3-star. Miles Kitzelman was unrated. So you've got a lot of overachievers on Tennessee's offense, and then on Georgia's defense, they've got one guy that's, I think, one starter that's not a 4-star or 5-star. So there's not as many of those first-round picks on that side that I think we've seen in the past, but there's a whole lot of talent still on Georgia's defense.
Hey, Adam, 2 weeks in, as far as Tennessee receivers go, we all, I think, were wringing our hands a little bit going into the season thinking, oh, my God, so much youth, not enough resource at the receiver position. But so far, I mean, I feel like it's been a pleasant surprise. What's your takeaway? And also, do we think they're up to the challenge going up against this Georgia defense? Because they've performed really well for 2 games, but it's not the likes of which anything that they're about to see.
Well, I think the concerns at receiver in the preseason for Tennessee is not that these 3 guys, it's not that they couldn't do it. It's that there wasn't as much of a plan B. It's more of the numbers of them. So if you tell me you're going to have Staley, Matthews, and Brazel for all 12 games in the postseason, they're healthy all those games, I would say you're probably going to be fine at receiver. And we saw, glimpses of that in the first 2 games. That they're not bad. They're pretty good at times and are going to get better. But the health is a big thing. You lose one of them, and Tennessee loses a couple of receivers to injury every year. So you just think that's probably going to happen at some point. In terms of this game, I don't know. Brazel is having that. Looks like he may be having that sort of second year in the Heupel offense sort of turn where, a lot of times the second year receivers are much better in Heupel's offense. He looks more comfortable. But his really good game was against ETSU. Mike Matthews showed some of that 5-star flash in this last game, but again, against ETSU, I think Braylon Staley is going to be productive. One, he's a pretty reliable receiver, but also he plays at a position in the slot that's always productive in Josh Heupel's offense. So I see a reason to like all 3 of those guys. It's just, they're going to go against there's a couple of first round type picks on Georgia's defense. One at safety, one at corner. They're both 5 stars. They've got a couple of 5 stars that come off the bench in that secondary. So this will be as hard as it'll be probably to complete passes in a Tennessee game this year. So if they can perform reasonably well in this one, I have pretty high hopes for them for the rest of the year.
Adam Sparks, KnoxNews.com, our guest this afternoon on the show. And Adam, when people have been doing the, Nico at night thing, hate watching the UCLA Bruins. And of course, there's this big comparison going on between the two quarterbacks, Aguilar and Iamale Ava. And I'm just wondering, as somebody who's close to the team, you're over there at all the press conferences covering the practices, all the media availabilities. Do you sense that there is an improved team chemistry amongst the Tennessee players and even coaches on the inside of their operation this year without Nico and his dad and some of the drama that was associated with that entire situation?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of that happened because of how Nico left. It was sort of a culminating thing with the team. They saw how toxic that could be, and so they came together after that. So I think if Nico had just left on good terms, or if he was out of eligibility, graduated or whatever, I think just the change from him to another quarterback would not have brought the team together in the way that it did. I think the way that he left actually produced that in a weird way. I think that the fact that they got Joey Aguilar, I think type of quarterback and person and teammate that he is, it sort of filled the hole that was there. Team guy, you've got him for a short term. He went out of his way to make sure he built great relationships with everybody. A guy that does not take himself seriously. Obviously, we can see the things on the peripheral of, Nico's family was very tight, but also very separate from the rest of the fan base. Joey's family so far has been is perfectly fine, but talking to absolutely any media member. You see mom and grandma crying when he runs out of runs through the tee. And that visual, by the way, is just, it sort of paints the contrast as much as anybody ever could. You've got, at least it seems like you've got one quarterback and his family that are so grateful to be at Tennessee that they're bawling their eyes out. And you've got another quarterback and their family that was asking for a raise when they were already making over $2 million. It's as much of a contrast as you can give for a fan base to be irked by one situation and love the other.
Just looking at Georgia's schedule, obviously this game's big for both teams. It's big for Tennessee for a number of other reasons. I'm looking at Georgia's schedule. If they happen to lose to us this weekend, they have a bye, and then there's Alabama. This game has real weight to it for them as well, not just because it's Tennessee and we know the history with Kirby Smart not winning in Knoxville as a player, all those things. But it's not crazy to think they could be staring at a potential 2-2 record after 4 games. Do you think that's, I'm sure that's on Kirby's mind, but I think that's a whole factor of what we haven't really thought about too.
Yeah. There's a whole follow-up to this game, regardless of how it goes, of how the loser responds. Because we're in the playoff, we're in the 12-team playoff era now. One loss doesn't knock you out. In the SEC, 2 losses doesn't knock you out. So the loser of this game very much has got to say, okay, we got to lick our wounds and move forward. Tennessee has a manageable schedule. They could lose this game and win the rest, or lose one more and be fine. Georgia, the same thing. Now, I will say both of these coaches have dealt with that, so they know one loss does not destroy their season. Kirby has done that longer than Josh Heupel has, but they both had experience with it. With Kirby, it's just, this is such a snake in the grass type situation with Kirby. He's done this before. Last year before the Tennessee game, Georgia lost to Ole Miss. They looked bad. You thought, okay, well, maybe this Georgia team is gettable. 2 years ago, Kirby's team was terrible against Missouri. I think the year before that they were bad against Missouri. There's always a game or two where you say, okay, I think maybe this Georgia team is beatable. And then Kirby brings his team into the Tennessee game and just, he treats this game and Florida, and I would say maybe Auburn, just different than other games. I think some of that goes to his history as a player and all that, but this is a very snake in the grass game situation for Kirby Smart, where it looks like he's just sandbagging. He comes in and, his guys are revved up. I mean, they will be ready to play and ready for the atmosphere in Neyland. There's no doubt about that.
Hey, Adam, great stuff. As always, my man, looking forward to your piece tomorrow about the player rankings. That's my big takeaway is the disparity, the talent discrepancy between Georgia's defense and Tennessee's offense. Heupel's going to have to figure a way to overcome that. Anything else on your mind as it pertains to this matchup or anything else we didn't discuss today?
No, I'm just eager to get to it. Yeah, take a look at that at knoxnews.com tomorrow. It's a deep dive, but it goes specifically to the players that are going to play in this game. When we talk about the talent gap, there is a talent gap, but the gap is a little different when you look at just guys that are going to be on the field.
All right, very good. We're looking forward to it. Adam, really appreciate it. We'll do it again soon. Enjoy the weekend.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Thanks, Adam Sparks, knoxnews.com, joining us this afternoon, and a lot to unpack there. We'll do it when we continue. Open up the phone lines at 865-966-3435. Your phone number to call or text the program today on a glorious fall afternoon in East Tennessee. It is The Drive on Fan Run Radio, and we're back with more right after this.
The Drive. Congratulations. You found sports radio that doesn't suck. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
The number one problem we see at our clinic is delaying treatment. ED can get worse.
Book your appointment right now. Call 865-544-8220. Prefer privacy? Book online in under 30 seconds at menspronknoxville.com.
At our clinics, men's sexual health is the whole job. Look, I'm a normal guy too. I hate going to the doctor, but we've helped so many guys in here just like you. Even if pills have failed, our medical team is going to take the time to talk you through it. Same day in-house lab.
We're available right now. Call 865-544-8220 or book in 30 seconds or less at menspronknoxville.com. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
Hungry for some mouth-watering barbecue? Then take the quick drive up I-75 to Rickard Ridge for some of the best barbecue you'll ever have. Fall off the bone, Memphis-style baby back ribs, slow-smoked chicken thighs, and fresh hand-cut steaks. Rickard Ridge has something for everyone. Located in Cove Lake State Park with a spectacular view of the Cumberland Mountains, Rickard Ridge. It's more than just dinner, it's a destination. Check out their full menu and catering options online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Hey, Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
The voluntary reaction.
This football season, tune into Big Orange Country's post-game radio free-for-all, The Voluntary Reaction, presented by the Griffin Law Firm. We'll be live on the Fan Run Radio app as soon as every UT game is over, taking your calls and breaking down the game to levels that can only be described as beyond scientific. So tune in and drink with us from the keg of glory or drown in the pool of despair. The Voluntary Reaction on Fan Run Radio.
The Voluntary Reaction. Raw, unfiltered, real.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. Come on, grab a pack. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavor. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Good afternoon. Steady flow of traffic spotted right now over here on 275 going northbound up by High School Woodland Avenue.
It stands to reason. His point was, look, defensively for Tennessee, they match up well with Georgia on offense. When you look at the talent, there's not much of a differential. What Tennessee has on defense, on paper, should be reasonably competitive with what Georgia has on offense. But when you flip around to the other side, Tennessee's an offensive program under Josh Heupel, but just from a star rating standpoint, Georgia's a defensive program under Kirby Smart, and they have recruited at an elite level on that side of the ball. And here we are, Bob. Like, how does Tennessee get to that 25 to 30 point mark where we all kind of agree, like, at least you're going to have to get there in order to have a chance to win this one?
Yeah, I agree. That's the point that we're all, at least speaking for myself, I'm a little concerned about, because they have so many guys, man. I still think it comes down to what can we do defensively to get under Stockton's skin? Because I think if we keep talking about, I think yesterday we were saying, 24, 28 points is what Tennessee needs to win the game. And I'm not moving off of that. But at the same time, it's like, if we can keep Georgia off the board to some degree, keep them in the 17, 20 point range, then I feel really good, because I can't imagine we're going to see fireworks on offense from our side. It just doesn't happen with Kirby Smart teams.
Doesn't seem like it.
But that doesn't mean we can't win this game. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're going to have to grind it out.
I think this quarterback matchup is incredibly key. You heard Adam talk about it too. We just haven't seen much from, Gunnar Stockton. Yeah. And I know everybody's got the kind of the BVS here that, any Georgia quarterback's just going to come out and show out against us. Last year you could argue Carson Beck's best game of the year was against us. I don't know. I think we can get to Stockton. I really believe that.
No, I think part of that is on Tim Banks. I think you're going to have to bring some pressure. And man, it sure would be nice to have Jermon McCoy and Ricky Gibson out there to go with Colton Hood.
Well, they got back 2 linemen that have been out since the beginning of the season. I saw that with blurb. Georgia back, yeah. 2 of their best linemen. One on defense, one on offense.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee, I think you're going to have to bring some pressure. This game. And, I wouldn't expect Josh Heupel to telegraph his plans or anything, but it's going to be really interesting to see what they end up doing in the secondary. And I would imagine Ty Redmond gets the start again. He's been very good, but I think we all understand this is a different step up in level of competition. So again, we've been talking about it for 2 weeks now, ever since the Ricky Gibson injury. Do you slide McMurray out there to that cornerback and just go ahead and start Boo in the slot? I don't think that's what we're going to do, but we might end up playing that way more. I think we're going to start out with Redmond out there, but I think you're going to see a whole lot of Boo, and it's just like, is he rotating with McMurray at star, or do they try and get their best 5 on the field.
I really think they're going to it wouldn't surprise me if they started Boo. I feel like you can't afford to go down 7-0. I say start him, man. We're paying for him.
I think, I mean, they might end up doing that. I think if they were going to do that, I think they would have done it last week to try. Like, we didn't try it. We haven't seen that group on the field. It's kind of the same conversation we're having with the offensive line and David Sanders, right? It's like, if you're going to start Sanders, and maybe he was just unable to go last week, but it doesn't feel like now is the best time to make wholesale changes to your offensive line.
No, especially when the guy who's been starting for him is the highest graded tackle according to PFF in college football. Jesse Perry, that's who's starting in front of him, right? Jesse Perry.
Yes.
I mean, he's the highest PFF graded tackle right now.
Well, he was for last week.
Was it last week?
Against ETSU. Yeah. So, again, step up in competition coming this week. But, I mean, point remains, I would, Josh Heupel hasn't called me up to solicit my opinion on what he should do as far as his starting offensive line is this week. I'm beginning to think he never will. But if he did, I would strongly suggest that you stick with what you've had for the first 2 weeks.
At least to start off with, maybe work him in.
Yeah, we talk about on the defensive side of the ball, we talk about the front four. We talk about the defensive backs. We just did. How are we feeling about the middle?
The linebackers?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's been rough, man, as far as from my perspective.
That's been the challenge in defending them. I mean, they ate us up with tight end throws last year. Still, I'm more concerned about the middle of our defensive line than I am those linebackers. I think Thielander, Spillman, and Arian Carter are a great trio. And, like, we're going to give up plays. I mean, it's football in 2025. The rules are geared towards the offense. Like, we're going to give some of those up. I'm more worried about just getting smashed between the tackles because we don't – like, is Jackson Moy even going to be available? Then you don't have David Hobbs, and we're going to bring back – we're not the same team we were last year. When, people talk about our defense being so good, like, we are missing Omari Thomas and Omar Norman Lott.
Oh, 100%.
Up front right now. We have not replaced those guys. And I like Eason. He's solid. He's a veteran presence in there, but – you're sliding Don Bailey over, and then you're depending on Nate Robinson and Utley behind them. They just don't have much experience in these types of games. UT Ski says, appreciate Russell's openness. We're talking about the colonoscopy
again, yeah.
But he better give the medical staff a photo of Geraldo Vol. We all know he's going to do everything he can to be at that procedure in person.
It's like a groupie hanging out.
That is my nightmare as I come to on the hospital bed in my little gown looking up and, hey, sir, how are you?
Then you roll over to get away from it, and on the other side you'd have Russell.
No, sometimes you get wheelchaired out for your pickup because you still maybe sedated slightly, and it's like he's like outside. We love you, Russell. It's like,
Texter says, are y'all worried about penalties this weekend?
Not as much because I feel like we've been – number one, we're going to be at home. So hopefully everybody will behave. It won't be loud when we're on offense.
We kept it to a dull roar so far this year on the penalties.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't –
For Heupel.
It hasn't been too bad. So the boys look a lot more disciplined this year. On some of –
Have you guys noticed that they are just not calling pass interference this year in college football and the pros?
Yes.
Not calling it? You
No,
think
very
they're
rarely.
just letting guys get away with stuff?
I think so, based off what I've seen so far.
I've seen some get let go, but to me, it's felt pretty normal. Like there's not a 100% hit rate on pass interference calls, but
I feel like in our first game against Syracuse, our corners were just all over their guys, and there were several times where I'm looking around expecting to see a flag, and they didn't. Which, hey, good for us, but I just wonder is that a policy that, hey, we're letting them play this year, or is that something where it's like they're just going to decide to start throwing that flag this week?
Well, they've been throwing the flag for and Georgia's the one who started the shift, all the shifting around to draw offenses off sides. It'll be real interesting to see if they continue to call it this weekend against Georgia. If they're going to get the favorable whistle.
It's the shifting offensive line.
Shifting defensive line.
Oh, what they do? I mean, what they do, I don't know if they'll call it because what they do is, like, that's completely legal. Like, you're allowed to move sideways on the defensive line.
Yeah, they're going to do that. They've been doing that for 8 years under Kirby Smart. They're going to keep doing it. I mean,
By the way,
that's their strategy.
I thought did they not institute a new rule this year? You sure about that?
Well, you can't mimic the snap count.
Yeah.
Like that's been a problem. And that's what Heupel was complaining about one year, was that they were doing something to mimic the snap count. But I saw an interview with Sam Pendleton where he was basically saying, yeah, that's the point of emphasis for us this week, is all the pre-snap movement that they do on the defensive line and just being able to handle that. So, yeah, that's their thing, and it's going to happen, and we're going to have to be ready for it. Hour number 2 of the drive coming up. The top 4 at 4 when we continue on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive.
It's Tennessee and Georgia, Saturday afternoon in Neyland Stadium, and this week's Fan Run Football Friday live show is at Ash's Beard and Beer Market, presented by Garage Beer. Join us for a live broadcast of The Drive, Friday from 3 to 6 at Ash's Beard and Beer Market on Kingston Pike in Lions View. We'll have $2.50 pints of Garage Beer and Garage Beer Lime, as well as a QR code that you can scan to get a 12-pack of Garage Beer to go for just $12. Plus, we'll be giving away a Garage Beer prize pack, including a sweet retro tailgate chair, pint glass, hats, t-shirts, koozies, stickers, and more. And we'll have your Fan Run Voluntary Reaction Keg of Glory t-shirts to give away as well. It's The Drive this Friday from 3 to 6 at Ash's Beard and Beer Market, presented by Garage Beer, 100% beer-flavored beer.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Ball fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
Merritt Garage Doors and Services has been serving the East Tennessee community since 1963. At Merritt, quite simply, the customer comes first. Their door specialists will not try to needlessly upsell you because they are not commission-based like other places. This allows them to focus on your needs and not their pockets. They offer a range of beautiful garage doors in a variety of styles to suit the architecture of your home, and they will supply and install a wide range of garage door openers and accessories to take your garage door to the next level. To request a quote or schedule a service repair call, visit merrittgaragedoor.com.
Are you tired of waiting on interest rates to drop before you start saving money? I'm Chris Burleson with University Lending Group, and I've got a better way. With a traditional closed-end mortgage, most of your payment goes straight to interest, not your balance. But with my Smart Loan, every deposit you make cuts your principal immediately and reduces interest in real time. On average, my clients pay off their mortgage in just 7 years. Call me today at 865-388-7634 or visit smartloantn.com and let's turn your income into financial freedom. NMLS number 332941.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
It's time for The Drive's Top 5 at 5.
Hour number 2 of The Drive underway here on Fan Run Radio, and the Top 4 at 4 is brought to you this afternoon by Dick's House of Sport. They are having a special event with Joey Kent on Friday. We'll tell you more about it after Walker.
Thank you. At number 1, Josh Heupel spoke to the media earlier today and addressed the injuries to Jackson Moy and David Sanders Jr. While Heupel didn't say they were healthy and ready for Saturday, he said there's, quote, some belief on that side that Moy and Sanders will play. The injury report for the week will come out tonight.
I don't think anybody will disagree, but like Moy is so much more of a need than David Sanders to me for this game.
Yes, 100%.
For sure.
We need the 3-star transfer from Stanford so much more than we need the 5-star number 1 offensive line prospect in the country.
Well, Jackson Moy's been he's got experience. Big games.
It's just it's such a position of need. And you wonder how is that elbow? Like it was wrapped up, is clearly a re-aggravation of a pre-existing injury. And it's just like, how effective can he be?
It's like, hopefully they'll be able to cage him and protect him.
Yeah, why wasn't he in that cage to begin with would be my question.
Probably.
Like a word with the training staff.
See if you can't get us a meeting. You can take me with you, our medical staff here at Fan Run.
Yeah.
By the way, I looked at it just to get the numbers. We had, in both games this far, we have 65 yards worth of penalties each. And against Syracuse, we had 7, and against ETSU, we had 6 penalties.
I mean, that's improvement, man.
Oh, yeah, we routinely had like 12, 13 penalties games.
We're losing like well over 100 yards.
Wasn't it didn't we have 12 or 13 penalties in the 2022 win over Bama?
We had a lot of penalty yards.
Yeah, but they had like 16. That was one of the worst.
That's right.
Say worst or most closely called game.
The Bammers were upset with the referees. They thought they weren't getting a fair shake from the Zebras.
Roll down Tide.
It was textbook interference.
Yeah.
Roll down Tide.
It was. Pass interference. At number 2, Travis Kelce is taking responsibility for the play on which Xavier Worthy was injured in the Kansas City Chiefs season opener. He said, quote, there was no excuse. I ran into one of my guys and offed him out of the game. I literally took one of my players out. It's one of the most frustrating parts, and it's hard to get your juices back going in knowing you just hurt your guy.
It's okay, TK.
I haven't even seen the play. What'd he do?
Go easy on yourself, man.
He laid him
Yeah,
out.
he fully dislocated Xavier Worthy's shoulder.
They were just crossing.
Yeah.
And, Kelce wasn't probably paying attention to who was right there in front.
Rubbin's race.
Worried about his route.
I know you're going over the middle of the field.
That's a co-owner of Garage Beer, sponsor of the show, folks. Please, a little respect.
But and if you look at Xavier Worthy, I mean, he is slight of build.
Yeah, I mean, he's like
small.
Devontae Smart, and he's one of those guys.
No,
got to have a head on a swivel, boys. Got to know you're out there in the middle of the field with incredibly large dudes running fast.
Yeah, especially when those crossing routes, they're meant to be run really close together to confuse defenses. Stuff like that can happen. Surprised it doesn't happen more often. At number 3, the NBA is conducting its own investigation into gambling allegations against Malik Beasley, the free agent guard linked to federal probe this offseason, the league confirmed on ESPN. The investigation stems from allegation of improper gambling on NBA games and prop bets from 23 to 24 when Beasley was playing with the Bucks. Beasley has already not been charged in the federal investigation into the matter, which was originally reported on June 29th.
Just when that guy, you think that he's clear, that is the epitome of where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah. You would think so.
Yeah.
Well, it's like what's going to end up happening with this Clippers thing is like, I don't know if they can fully prove what's going on with it. Like, they couldn't federally prove or have evidence against Malik Beasley, apparently, and the federal thing went away. But with the NBA, it's not what you can prove. It's about what you can make the NBA believe, because they don't need evidence to punish you all that much.
And he was about to sign some massive contract, right?
It was going to be a pretty decently sized mid-level deal for him.
Massive for like ordinary people.
Yeah, like for ordinary people, like he was
a $60 million deal in the NBA is considered mid-tier, but for dudes like us,
he wasn't going to make a 9-figure contract, but it was going to be substantial for a role player.
My point is, like, when you're in that world and you know that there's a zero tolerance policy on sports gambling, why are you doing it? Like, all these guys know these pitchers for the Indians, college athletes. Like, how many times, Bob, do you think Heupel has somebody come up there and tell these guys, don't gamble, don't do it? Like, every week, probably. There's a reminder.
Yeah, now more than ever.
Yeah, they're going to have more stuff on gambling coming up at the top 5. Some stuff going on in college hoops there.
Oh, yeah.
Follow that. Oh. We'll save that for later. Yes. At number 4, former Cubs All-Star Anthony Rizzo is returning to the organization as an ambassador for the Cubs and will retire as a Cub during an on-field ceremony at Wrigley Field this Saturday. Rizzo, 36, played 14 years in the MLB, including a decade with the Cubs, where he made 3 All-Star teams and won 4 Gold Gloves. His biggest accomplishment was helping lead the Chicago Cubs to a World Series title in 2016.
I mean, he more than anybody embodied the spirit of the 2016 Cubs.
Yeah, he was the Cub. He should have been a Cub his whole career. He should have been catching balls at first base for them until he retired. Sadly, that's just not how it works.
Yeah, that was one of the main. He was one of the catalysts there. Theo Epstein came from the Red Sox and took over the Cubs, and they were moribund. And he traded for Rizzo from the Padres, and that was kind of the first cornerstone of. Then they had some really good draft picks,
Chris
Addison
Bryant,
Russell and Chris Bryant, and those guys.
Bobby Baez.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the best first basemen of that decade and maybe the 21st century if you look at it. I don't know if he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but Hall of Very Good.
I want to be in the Hall of Very Good.
It's not a bad place to be.
I could be in the Hall of
being a fringe Hall of Famer is like, you're not one of the greatest, but you were still pretty good.
I don't know. I feel like I'd be in the Hall pretty good, as opposed like being a fringe Hall of Famer would suck, man.
Being that close?
Yeah.
So glad Todd got in.
Like Drew Pearson in the NFL. You remember that whole deal?
Oh, yeah.
He was getting angry because he was like at the fringe every time. He finally got in, but that's painful.
I hate the Cowboys. Drew Pearson deserved. That was a joke.
Yeah, I agree.
Was that number 4, by the way?
That was number 4.
It was just a joke. If you looked at the guy's body of work, so I don't know.
Thank you, Walker. Fans are invited to join Dick's House of Sport in Knoxville for a special appearance by Tennessee football legend Joey Kent, celebrating the launch of Logo Brands, the legendary play collection. It's a cool thing that I know Joey's been involved with, where you can buy like the framed pictures of like the play as it's drawn up, like the 80 yards on
I've
play
seen
number
those.
1.
They're
like,
really cool.
Yeah, Joey's involved in that, and he's going to be here Friday from 6 to 7:30 for a meet and greet. Hope this doesn't conflict with Stevie's meet and greet. But Joey will be at Dick's House of Sport, Westtown Mall, from 6 to 7:30. So you can come see us over at Ash's Beer Market and then go get an autograph and a picture with JK. Produced by Logo Brands, the collection features drinkware showcasing some of the most iconic moments in Tennessee football history. The first 150 fans in line will receive a wristband for the event, 1 photo per customer, and autographs are available with purchase of the legendary play product. So that's coming up Friday over at Dick's House of Sport.
Refresh my memory. Where's Stevie's meet and greet at?
Yeehaw Brewing.
Yeah. Yeah, he at a competing event.
Yeah,
he's calling up and advertising his own thing at a competing event. That's what we want. 865-966-3435 is your phone number to get on the show. Mike Griffith of the AJC coming up here in just a little while. If you want to jump in, now would be a great time. Go ahead and take a shot. 865-966-3435, your phone number if you want to get in on the action here this afternoon, getting ready for a big Tennessee football weekend. We've got Groomers in Gainesville. We've got
Griff. Wow. Think he's going to rustle any jimmies?
I don't know. I was telling Bob, like, you never know with Griff what kind of mood he's going to be in. I know he's in Knoxville covering. He does like the advance work for the AJC.
Cool.
So he's back in his old stomping grounds, and we'll see. We'll see what kind of mood he's in here in a few minutes. Chad is up first today on the drive. Hello, Chad.
Hey, guys. I was thinking a lot about the Georgia game, and looking at those stats earlier about how Heupel's never scored more than like 17, 18, something like that. I really think the big key, they're going to score points. We hopefully will score some, but I think the biggest thing, like we've talked about, that quarterback, if we can get on him early, rattle him, maybe even nick him up pretty bad early. Now, I don't mean hurt him, even though I'm not going to cry if he gets taken out of the game. But, if we can get that done early, I think that is our maximum chance of success. Because like you guys are saying, their defense, on paper at least, far more talented than our offense on paper. I like our quarterback with his experience better. And if we can get to theirs early, often, get him on the ground a lot, I think that's our best chance. I'll hang up. Thanks.
Thank you, Chad. Appreciate it. That kind of jives with what Sparks said. Is like Tennessee in the 4 Heupel losses to Georgia has 3 sacks. They've got 18.
We got to get after it.
Now you have to put pressure on the quarterback. I still think that the definitive matchup is going to be on the other side, like how we're able to attack their defense. But that's part of it too, man. Like I don't think we're going to win the game if we only have 1 or fewer sacks.
No, but we also, on the flip side of that, we definitely have to force them offensively to walk guys up in the box. We need to make them have to help out in the box so we can get our downfield passing on. But one thing I think Adam was saying was that their whole philosophy of they'll put their corners on an island against our receivers. They expect to win those battles. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
If you're just doing a comparison of running game versus running game, who do you think has the better one?
I think we do.
I think we do too. I know Nate Frazier's talented, and they've got some other guys too. But I like what I've seen from ours so far.
Well, I think it's less about the running backs, because I think across the board, both teams have running backs or a running back that can get the job done and run for 100 yards. It's more about whether or not our offensive line is as good as it's been against subpar competition, or whether or not Georgia's offensive line is the best offensive line in the country with the players they're getting back.
Yeah, I think it's likely a wash. I mean, that's a good question.
I mean, they did struggle. They've struggled so far this year scoring points for them. I mean, they scored what against the FCS? Go 28.
Yeah, I mean, I don't put any stock into that. I don't like those games. Don't matter to me. Like the fact that they scored 28. Like I don't pass any judgment on that. Just as I don't pass any judgment on us scoring 72. We both played FCS opponents. We put up a big number. They put up a small number. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
To me, anyway. Like maybe I'm missing something here, but it's just like.
Does Gunnar Stockton strike the same fear in your heart as some other Georgia quarterbacks?
None of these guys have ever really struck fear. The only like Stafford was really good, and I remember thinking Murray was really good. But I mean, they more so than just about any quote unquote elite program have used the game manager type. I feel like.
Well, they've had quarterbacks that are a lot better than frankly, the way that their play style, like mainly pocket guys, but guys that can move a little bit. When you look at him, it's like, oh, Stetson Bennett, like, is he really that good? Jake Fromm, is he really that good?
Stetson's Bennett's fast as hell.
Yeah.
We found that out.
Yeah, and same with Carson Beck last year. Like, is Carson Beck really that good? Yeah, they're all that good. It's just they don't need to play that good to win at Georgia. It's probably going to be the same for Gunnar Stockton. It's just whether or not he's on that level, and the team is as good.
The wrinkle I wasn't expecting to see last season from Carson Beck was he ran all over us.
Yeah.
And it was driving
some scrambles.
me nuts. Yeah.
No, this guy's going to do it too. Like, these will all be great questions for Griff, because I'll be honest, I haven't watched a ton of Gunnar Stockton this year. So watched him in the Notre Dame game and wasn't terribly impressed.
He was passable. You know what I mean? That's the way
I thought that he was relying on running a lot in last year because of his lack of experience and they weren't confident in him to drop back and throw it the way they were with Carson Beck.
He didn't get much help in that game, if you recall, too. I mean, Notre Dame was getting after him, and he had a few dropped passes. I mean, I wouldn't say he played great by any stretch. I didn't think he played bad, but it wasn't good enough for that level of game. I mean, that was such an important game. And once you get to the playoffs, you're in the quarterfinals. Quarterback's got to deliver. He fell a little short. He's going down, man.
He is?
I don't know.
The hell, Bob?
Bob, we're going to have to work on the hot take delivery.
It goes back and forth. That's how it goes with me. Sometimes, I want to believe, but
it's like Bob's like, we're going to win. It's like, actually, I don't know that. 5 seconds.
I'm going to get you some private time with Bear so he can teach you how to really deliver a take with gusto, even if deep down you don't really believe in what you're saying.
It's a gift.
Coming up, Mike Griffith of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution joins the festivities right here on Fan Run Radio. We'll get his thoughts on Gunnar Stockton. Is he ready for the moment Saturday in Neyland? Stay tuned and find out. More Fan Run Radio coming up.
The Drive. Catch up with all things Fan Run by subscribing to our podcast feed. Like, rate, and download the show from the Fan Run app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Knoxville. Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, 0 carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
For over 3 years, Crumble Cookies has served the Knoxville area. From Clinton Highway to Parkside Drive, even our friends out in Maryville have reached you, our fans, with the best cookies in the game. This fall, Crumble is gearing up for yet another fantastic season. Whether you're tailgating or looking for a pick-me-up after getting the kids from school, Crumble has you covered. Download the Crumble app to check out this week's rewards and features. And stop on by. Tell them Fan Run sent you, but don't miss the cookies.
Bankruptcy, divorce, personal injury. These are just some of the curveballs life can throw at you. Fortunately, East Tennessee has someone to help you work through these problems and recover. The law offices of Jerry R. Givens. If you're in need of legal advice, call today to set up a free, no-obligation consultation. 865-801-9250. As always, the phone call is free, the advice is free, so what do you have to lose? Call 865-801-9250 or go online to jrglawtn.com. That's jrglawtn.com. The law offices of Jerry R. Givens. Legal expertise you can rely on.
Friday Night Lights are back, and that means so is the SM Athletics Friday Night Scoreboard Show. Join me, Tim Hill, a.k.a. Vols Tim 85, and my crew every Friday night starting at 9:30 p.m. Live action, live calls, and all of the biggest talking points in East Tennessee high school football. It's the Friday Night Scoreboard Show presented by SM Athletics right here on Fan Run Radio, 1340 AM, the free Fan Run app, and streaming live on YouTube on Fan Run TV.
Hi, this is Bo Kregner from the Kregner Group at Realty Executives, and I know there's a lot of choices here in East Tennessee when it comes to choosing a realtor. Here's why the Kregner Group is different. At the Krigner Group, our motto is walking by faith, serving others. It's how I live my life. It's how I run my business. Here at the Krigner Group, we're committed to doing real estate the right way. Faith, honesty, integrity. The Krigner Group. Call me anytime at 865-742-1035 or visit my website at bonoshouses.com.
This football season got you stressed out? If you're grinding your teeth or biting your fingernails, you could be doing serious damage to your smile. Luckily for you, Dr. Stephen Malone and Dr. Michael Costa at Knoxville Smiles can help fix your teeth so that your smile shines bright no matter how your team's doing. So set up your free, no-risk consultation today at KnoxvilleSmiles.com. That's KnoxvilleSmiles.com. Creating beautiful smiles, one relationship at a time.
Good afternoon. It's starting to build pretty good to the north. 75 continuing north of town, up through Anderson, throughout Campbell County. It was dragging out there earlier on 40 westbound between the Kingston and Harriman exits as you travel out through that stretch of Roane County on I-40 going westbound, and give yourself a little bit of extra time. Hey, turn your gold and silver coins into cash.
Bear Walker Smith cruising with you. Wednesday afternoon edition of the show, and pleased to be joined by our old pal Mike Griffith with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. He's also the chairman of the Steve Spurrier Coaching Award. Griff, good afternoon, sir.
You know, that probably sounds like a joke when we say that I do the Spurrier Award, but it's interesting. You know, with the football writers, I do that freshman All-American team, and a few years ago, I've also got this first-year Coach of the Year award, and I just called Spurrier and said, "Hey, man, how'd you like to have an award named after you?" And so we got this show we do every year. We honor first-year Coach of the Year. Last year it was Fran Brown, and then we have the Offensive Freshman of the Year, Defensive Freshman of the Year, and Special Teams Freshman of the Year, and then we do a Legend Award, and none other than Philip Fulmer is going to be the legend this year. Last year we had Frank Beamer. Let's see, we had Mark Rick won it, Bob Stoops. So Coach Fulmer will be the fourth Steve Spurrier Legend Coach. Him and Spurrier will share the stage in Gainesville next February. Be a lot of fun.
How do you get along well with Coach Fulmer these days, Griff?
Oh, I've never had an issue with Coach Fulmer. I've always thought he was really easy to deal with. He's, he's very mindful of the Tennessee brand. I still remember telling a story about how he saw a piece of trash on campus and went over there and picked it up and put it in a dumpster. I mean, Philip Fulmer's Tennessee. I know there's been ups and downs and roller coasters and politics and this and that, but at the end of the day, I mean, he's as Tennessee as they get, and he's a legend. And, I was fortunate to cover the 98 national championship team and all those SEC championship games. And, obviously, he had a great career here. And I remember Russell coming from the Alabama beat and Coach Stallings, and then year one of Dubose, and covering Tennessee. It was like, I remember telling John Adams, it's kind of boring. I mean, every time I come to the stadium, I know they're going to win. They're going to blow somebody out. I mean, you got excited.
Yeah, good thing you got away from a program like that, Griff.
Well, I mean, it wasn't, it just kind of worked out that way. Actually, what happened in my Forrest Gump career was they came to me and they said, Tennessee's hiring this new basketball coach, and we think you would really get along with this guy, and you could really blow this beat out of the water. And I'm like, man, I don't want to cover basketball. I didn't come to Tennessee to cover. No, you'll still do some football, but we really want to amp up the basketball coverage. I went over there, and this Bruce Pearl guy was trying to tell me how good it was going to be. And about halfway through the first year, I said, you know what? This ain't such a bad gig. So that was a fun 6 years with Bruce, and still doing the Vols, and man, just thankful for those opportunities. I had so much fun there with Pearl and Fulmer, and of course Coach Summit was here. I mean, those and weeklies were getting softball off the ground. I mean, those were some good days, and now you got some good days now.
Good days are back.
Look at your programs now. I mean, Tennessee's rolling.
Good.
Rolling.
Well, we'll see how much it's rolling on Saturday. I mean, Griff, this has been like Josh Heupel has climbed all the hills, right? He's beaten Alabama. He's beaten Florida. He's won an Orange Bowl, been to the playoff, but Kirby is the kryptonite. And this has started, you mentioned, the Steve Spurrier Award and Coach Fulmer. This is kind of starting to feel, at least here locally in Knoxville, a little bit like Tennessee and Florida circa 1998 when Philip Fulmer finally got the monkey off his back. Could this be the year that Josh Heupel gets the Georgia monkey off his back?
Oh, sure it could. I mean, this is when to get Georgia. I mean, next year, Jared Curtis, boy, this guy looks really good at Nashville Christian. I mean, Georgia fans, if they could suit him up tomorrow, right? But now's when you get him. I mean, if Tennessee's going to get him, this would be a good year to get him because, Gunnar Stockton hasn't really shown a lot in the first two games. Well, we know who he is. We know what he is. He's a local kid. He's got some mobility. He's not dynamic. He's not Stetson Bennett running the ball. He's very disciplined. He's probably not going to turn it over. But they haven't really had many explosive plays. I think they've only had one pass play go over 25 yards, and that was kind of a screen pass that USC transfer Zachariah Branch. That's probably their most dangerous guy. He turned it upfield 47 yards, and that's it for explosive plays. I think they had a 23-yard run last week against Austin Peay. That was the longest play in the game. I think the longest pass was 19. They got 4 new offensive line starters. A couple of those guys were injured and didn't play last week. 5 plays from the 1-yard line against Austin Peay and couldn't get in. And, since I'm on Knoxville Airways, let me tell you about this Jeff Ferris, this former Catholic guy. Man, if I could buy stock in an up-and-coming coach, I'd be buying it in Ferris. This guy can coach. This guy's the real deal. I mean, you just look at him, Russell, and you say, man, this guy's going to be on an SEC or major sideline at some point with what he's done with Austin Peay. But I digress. We'll find out about Georgia. I think their defense is as good as always, but their offense hasn't really clicked yet. And then conversely, Josh does such a good job. Like you said, he's knocked off Florida. He's beat now 2 out of the last 3 years. You're taking care of business. He's got an impressive win. He's done a great job with this quarterback. Without this kid going through spring, Aguilar, this veteran kid's been around the block. He's done a heck of a job. So, got 100,000 people checker kneeling. I mean, ESPN game day coming. It looks, if you're a Tennessee fan, you'd probably be feeling pretty good about this.
Hey, Mike, thanks for joining us. That's a good segue into the question. So if you were we'll put you in Kirby's visor for a second, and you're the coach of the team. Based on what you've seen so far from Tennessee, and again, it's against lesser opponents than for sure anything we're about to see this weekend. But if you're Kirby Smart, what do you think is keeping him up at night about this Tennessee team at this point, as it relates to what may be a gap on his own team?
Well, I mean, first of all, and I know you guys cover this program and you probably hear it a lot, but if you're playing Tennessee, you're stressed from go because of Josh's system. I mean, number one, the formation spread you out. So right out of the gate, you better have some corners that can play man on island. You better have some guys that can tackle in the open field, because right out of the gate, you're spread out and you're isolated. So you better be able to man up. Secondly, your guys better know where to be because of the tempo. He's going to run tempo on you. So not only do you have to have the talent, but you got to have guys that are coached up enough to get lined up fast, because this is a part of the game with Josh Heupel. And then thirdly, you're talking about a national championship quarterback here. You're talking about a runner-up for that. I mean, Josh Heupel played the game. I mean, we made a lot out of Spurrier being a Heisman winner. Well, he never won a national title. Josh Heupel did. And just because he doesn't tell funny jokes and zing people like Spurrier doesn't mean he's not a hell of an offensive mind. I mean, he's doing a lot on the sideline. So you got 3 things right out of the gate that you got to worry about. You got a quarterback on the sideline, you got a scheme that's going to speed you up, and you got formations that's going to isolate your players. And if you don't check all those boxes, if you don't match Which with Josh, if you don't have guys that can tackle in the open field, if you don't have DBs, and then on top of it, Tennessee runs the ball. You better have some big dudes up front that can be, gap disciplined enough, because Josh will run it up your butt. I mean, even though we think about Tennessee scoring all these points and these dynamic long plays, well, those plays are set up because Tennessee does such a good job running the ball. So you've really got to cover all the bases. So as much as it's been about Georgia, you could take the G off the helmet, and if you could find a defense that could check all those boxes, and good luck doing that, that's what it takes, though. And now you got to do it with guys. More than half the roster has been there less than 2 years, and they got to play in front of 100,000. This is their first road game of the season, and Gunnar Stockton's never started a road game, and he came from behind against Texas in the SEC championship game. But other than that, he hadn't had to play catch up. So, and Tennessee scored first. Just to my point about Josh Heupel and what a great coach he is, Tennessee scored first the last 5 times.
Yeah,
that stuff's done before the game's up. He scripted it, and then Georgia's adjusted or whatever. And Georgia had unbelievable talent, and Jalen Carter's not coming out of that tunnel, guys. Brock Bowers isn't coming out of that tunnel. So this is a really intriguing game. And if you're Kirby, you got to hope your guys are coached up enough and they're ready to execute against a really, really difficult offensive scheme to prepare for.
Talking with Mike Griffith of the AJC this afternoon on the program. And, Mike, we mentioned you covering Fulmer back in the day. Now you're covering Kirby, and it's changed so much for you guys who cover programs up close on the day-to-day like that. But obviously Kirby Smart has proven himself as a champion in this league. And what is it about Kirby, aside from the obvious, his recruiting prowess? He gets players. What is it about him that allows him to sustain this tremendous success that he's built there?
Well, talent. He does a great job recruiting and developing players. And, Georgia can go into a living room and tell a guy, hey, take a look at who's had the most players drafted the last 5 years. Look at the opportunities that you have playing in this system. There's a lot of guys in the NFL that are going to give testimony to the way they're coached up. It's a lot of tough coaching. It's kind of like signing up for the Marine. You know what you're signing up for when you go to Georgia. Now, not all kids want to be coached hard like that. Not all kids want to have to compete like that. They want the promise of dollars to, go right away and play right away. And I won't mention any quarterbacks' names, but you got to be cut the right way. So right out of the gate, you're recruiting elite guys that want to be coached hard. And then you have a tremendous advantage with all the in-state talent that Georgia has. And so, you got that Metro Atlanta area, but I'm seeing Metro Nashville put up some guys, and East Tennessee high school football's gotten pretty doggone good too. So, I think Josh has got something growing here. I think the athletic department's got a lot of momentum. Tennessee's got a lot going, and here's the thing. And I know you brought up the Spurrier-Fulmer thing, and Steve Spurrier is unbelievable. I mean, the guy won the SEC 6 out of 12 years. He was a visionary. He was ahead of everybody else with the passing game and the way he split the field up. But things are different now. Even if Tennessee loses, and I don't know who's going to win or lose, but even if it's a playoff game, you're a playoff sport now. You can lose this game. You can lose 2 games and still make the playoff. I mean, we saw Notre Dame lose to Northern Illinois last year. We saw Ohio State. And this is going to get me going. I'm going to try to keep my blood pressure down. But, I mean, this team loses at home as a 3-touchdown favorite, finishes 4th place in their league, and they still get to host a playoff game. Let me tell you what a crock, I almost said the word. Let me tell you how bad that was. Now, I'm not saying Tennessee would have won if the game was in Knoxville, but it was last year's college football playoff committee did a major screw job with this Big Ten guy that was the chairman. I mean, the Big Ten is literally stolen college football, whether it was the playoff committee last year headed by the Michigan guy, or whether it's Ohio State buying up, Alabama players. It turns my stomach. But, they've won the last 2 titles now, and Dan Lanning's up there at Oregon. He's a heck of a coach, man. Those Ducks are scary this year. I don't know how good Ohio State or Michigan will be, but somebody's going to come out of that league that's awful good. And meanwhile, in the SEC, we're going to see everybody beating each other up. I mean, hell, the last place team that didn't even win a league game just beat the number 12 team in the country. Starkville's not looking like a picnic for Georgia later this season either. So tough league, but it is a playoff sport. And that's the way to rewire your brain. If you're a college fan right now, is as big as this game is, and it is titanic, it's not end of the world. Back in the Fulmer years, you lost to Florida and it was pretty much, there goes your national championship hopes.
Hey, Mike, You mentioned Zachariah Branch a little bit earlier, and this was a player when he entered the portal. Tennessee fans were like, pick me, pick me. They wanted him here like a lot of schools did. He ends up going to Athens. His numbers at USC were okay, but I mean, obviously there was talent there. That's why Georgia wanted him, and he flashed some of that against Marshall, but didn't look like he did much last week against P. But maybe that was because of the circumstance. But what's your takeaway on Branch at this point? I mean, is he someone who can put himself in that upper echelon, like we talk about, Ryan Williams and others in the SEC at wide receiver? Can Branch fit that bill?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, Ryan Williams is kind of his own player. These receivers, these guys are so gifted. He's quick. He gets open, but I'm not sure about just straight line speed. I'm not sure about elevating. I don't have a big enough sample size to predict greatness for him. I'm not ready to say he's on Ladd McConkey's level. Tennessee's had some great receivers too, as you know. I don't know, these Jalen Hyatt, or Cedric Tillman. I don't think he's of that ilk, but he's what Georgia's got. He's a guy that gets loose underneath and then makes yards after the catch, and he'll stress the defense because he does have tremendous quickness, and he's hard to get. He's hard to bring down in the open field, and but as far as the ability to take it 80 yards from anywhere on the field, I don't know that I'm ready to say that, and that's really the question about Georgia is, do they really have any explosive players? Dwight Phillips is a 185-pound running back that's flashed a little bit. Didn't do much last year. Don't have a big enough sample size. I know he can outrun Marshall and Austin P, but I don't know if he's going to beat Tennessee linebackers to the perimeter or, juke any Tennessee safeties in the open field. So there's just a lot of questions about Georgia because they haven't played an elite opponent or even a power opponent like Tennessee has in Syracuse.
Griff, safe to assume low-scoring game Saturday? Doesn't seem like a lot of confidence that either offense is going to have great success.
Yeah, that's what it looks like on surface level. I guess if you're a betting person, that's which way I'd lean. But nothing's safe. Nothing's safe in this rivalry. I mean, these teams, the way they went at each other last year, I mean, it's 10-0 at the end of the first quarter last year, and Tennessee's looking good. And then, the Tin Man finds his heart, right? Carson Beck lowers his shoulder and ignites the team, and Carson points to that as a real turning point in his career, by the way, that Tennessee game, because now he's flying at Miami, doing pretty well. And he said that was the game where he realized he really just needed to stop worrying about himself and start, worrying about his team. And I guess he can thank Tennessee for that, because the Vols looked like they had him on the ropes. They came out there and put 10 on him, and it was a really good Tennessee. It was a playoff team, and everybody just forgets. And, making the playoffs is a big deal. There's 136 teams out there. And I know we've got this mentality that if you don't win the last game, it was a bad year. I mean, Georgia fans, Heck, Kirby did an unbelievable job winning the SEC title last year. And Georgia fans, they lost to Notre Dame. Tennessee made the playoff last year. That's an unbelievable achievement for Josh Heupel in his third year. I mean, what an unbelievable job. He deserves a lot of credit. I don't think he gets enough credit. He doesn't put himself out there for that. He's a pretty modest guy, not looking for the camera, not looking to look pretty in front of the camera. He's not all polished. His hair's not slicked back. He's just not that dude. He's a football coach. He reminds me a little bit of Phillip, in that way that, he's all about the program, and all that flash and dazzle's not his thing. So I think you got a guy that fits the program well. I think he's got a lot of juice behind him. I know there's a lot of people that care about Tennessee sports. I think this NIL really has worked in your favor. The way you fund that baseball team, I mean, that's a lot of local support, and Tony does a great job getting everybody fired up to do it. And that's a special thing you got going. And my gosh, Rick Barnes, I mean, it's just a matter of time before they put the statue up. I mean, I know he hasn't made the Final Four, but he's such a beloved figure, and he's done so much for the university through difficult times to help the overall program. You can't help but love this guy. So, like I said, so many great things going on up here right now.
Griff, always appreciate it. Last thing for you, since you brought up basketball twice now. How about your boy Bruce Pearl? Is he going to leave basketball and run for the Senate?
Bruce is an amazing guy, and I don't need to tell you or your audience that. We know what he did for Tennessee basketball and what he's done at Auburn, which I would have never dreamed he could turn Auburn into a Final Four program. I mean, my God, that place, I covered that program too. And if you'd have told me that Bruce Pearl was going to lead, that they'd ever make the Final Four in my life, I'd have never believed it. I don't know. Bruce is big on being himself. And, I've tried to learn a little something from all these coaches that I've covered. And I really appreciated the 6 years that I spent covering his program here. He's a guy that says, go out and do it. If there's something you believe in and there's something you want, don't let anybody stop you. And I've always admired that about him. He is who he is. He lives out loud. And if that's what he wants to do, I have no doubt that he can do it. I mean, he's the kind of guy that if he believes he can change the world, he's going to try. And if that's where his heart is at. But I think also, college coaching college, it's a grind. I mean, these coaches, what they go through now, it's unbelievable. I mean, between the portal and the travel and the recruiting and now the stress of now Auburn expects to be they expect to win in basketball at Auburn. I mean, can you believe this? I mean, it's like Alaska getting 80-degree weather. We expect this summer every year. That's just, I don't even know how he puts up with it. So I don't know. I haven't talked to him about that, but nothing with Bruce Pearl would surprise me. These coaches are in these positions for a reason. They're incredibly successful, driven people, and that's why they're coaching in the SEC. You don't get a job in this league without being a good coach.
He is Mike Griffith, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and also the chairman of the Steve Spurrier Coaching Award, which Philip Fulmer Fulmer going to be honored by your group later this year.
He will. He'll be down there, and it's a lot of fun. It turns into a roast. We had Dykes down there the year after Georgia beat him in the title game, and it turned into a roast, and Sonny knew it was coming and laughed, and I went over to him afterward, and I said, yeah, Sonny, sorry about that. I said, Coach every now and then has a little fun with people. He said, oh, that's an honor. It's an honor to be roasted by Steve Spurrier. I feel like I belong. And we honored Josh Heupel in year one of this. You guys might remember this. South Carolina fans and Tennessee fans were both kind of pissed off at us. But Josh and Shane Beamer both won the first year Coach of the Year award. And what happened was we had a hung vote on it. It was me and Chris Doring's involved in this and Coach Spurrier. And we're going back and forth. Is it Beamer? Is it Heupel? Is it Heupel? Is it Beamer? Beamer wins the bowl, but Heupel beats Beamer in year one. And Spurrier goes, well, tell you what we're going to do. They're both going to win it. I said, well, Coach, I don't think we can. Now, don't tell me what we can do. They're both going to win it, and they're going to like it. That's what he said. And he brings Heupel. So they're down there, and Spurrier's introducing Josh, and he's talking about all the games that Josh won in his first year and the scores, and Spurrier goes on this tangent. He goes, yeah, you scored. So, I remember one year at Neyland, we put 50-some on, and Heupel goes, well, Coach, thank you very much. I just won the bet. He said, what are you talking about? Well, I just bet the guys here at my table that you would have to bring up how bad you beat Tennessee when you were there. And then, so Josh can handle it now. If you want to duke it out with him verbally, if you really want to go there, he can stick it to you. He just doesn't like to. But I think he was ready for Spurrier that night at the awards ceremony. And I got a feeling Philip Fulmer will too. I got a feeling that Philip's got a few bullets he can fire if Steve starts roasting him too hard.
It'd be like old times. Hey, Griff, really appreciate it, my man. Thanks so much. Enjoy the weekend in Knoxville.
Yeah, let's enjoy this game environment. It's going to be great. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Mike Griffith of the AJC checking in with us this afternoon, giving us a little bit of the Georgia flavor of this one. And
I feel like he's giving us more of a chance this year than in past.
Yeah, I mean, he's always paints a rosy picture of Tennessee. My takeaway there is the Georgia side is not exactly. I mean, I don't think they're down on Gunnar Stockton, but there's also like he's very much a game manager, and he said like, dude, does Georgia have playmakers? Do they have playmakers?
Went out and
I don't
bought
know.
a bunch of them. We'll see how good they are against an SEC defense this
Well,
weekend.
they've got one in the slot, and who's going to be covering the slot for us?
Who knows? At this point,
I couldn't help but feel like he was doing a little pat on the head, though, too. Kind of like,
really? Did you feel a little condescended to?
Not condescended, but just kind of like, hey, you guys got a lot to be excited about, too. It was that kind of vibe.
Yeah. I mean, when you heard it, like, and there's nobody, like, as far as guys who've just I don't want to say lucked into it because he's a talented writer and a hard worker, but like Griff he covered Alabama in the 90s, covered Tennessee in the 90s during the glory days. Then he goes over to basketball, which was a beat nobody wanted. And all of a sudden Tennessee gets really good. And now he's down there at Georgia when they've finally gotten good.
He made a stop up in Michigan too as well.
Yeah, he did Michigan State for a minute.
So
he's kind of a good luck charm wherever he's at.
Yeah, well, you know,
to the home team.
He's got his point of view for certain. We'll kick it around a little bit more when we continue. Couple of lines available if you want to hop on board. 865-966-3435 if you want to help us wrap up hour number 2 of the program when we continue right here on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive. Streaming worldwide at fanrunradio.com and on the free Fan Run app. This is Big Orange Country's sports talk radio superstation. Fan Run Radio. Knoxville.
It's time for the North Knox Siding and Windows High School Football Player of the Week. Brought to you by North Knox Siding and Windows. Call 865-689-0505 or visit them online at northknoxsidingandwindows.com.
This week's North Knox Siding and Windows High School Football Player of the Week is Central wide receiver Javastin Badgett. Badgett helped lead the Bobcats to a 29-21 win over West last week. Badgett had an eye-popping 12 catches for 230 yards and 2 touchdowns as Central improved to 2-1 on the season. Javastin Badgett of Central High School, this week's North Knox Siding and Windows High School Football Player of the Week.
North Knox Siding and Windows, locally owned and operated, they can handle all your siding, window, gutter, and roofing needs. Call 865-689-0505 for a free estimate or go online to northknoxsidingandwindows.com.
Running a business, coaching a team, planning your next big event, you need more than just gear. You need SM Athletics and Logo Solutions. Custom uniforms, branded apparel, promotional products, done right, done fast, and built to show off your brand with pride. From local businesses to high schools to major universities, SM Athletics is trusted by winners. Get real service, get real quality, get noticed. SM Athletics and Logo Solutions, where your brand comes to life.
Visit smathletics.com and let's build something great together.
In a world filled with deadlines and screens, sometimes we forget the simple joys of life, days filled with special moments. At Inward Half, we understand the essence of these moments. Feel the difference between our breathable fabrics and flexible apparel as you disconnect from the hustle and bustle and reconnect with what truly matters. Inward Half. Simple luxury for on and off the course.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth Only Drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the Triple Wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw Premium Vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw Premium Vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the Volunteer State. Smoked daily by pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134 for directions and to look at the rest of the menu. Visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
that he has more confidence in Georgia than perhaps he was letting on.
I think so. I mean, numbers don't lie. We've been talking about it. They've won 8 in a row. You know, I just feel like that stands to reason that he would feel that way.
They dominate the thing you talk, the overall talent what do you call that thing? The
talent composite.
Yeah, the composite. That's the word I couldn't think of. And I mean, they've had our number and
8 in a row.
Along with Bob, I know exactly what Bob's. That's just Griff being Griff. I mean, if you don't know him, it could come off a little bit condescending. But
I mean, I don't think he was disingenuous. I think his point was, man, I got to find something good to say about these guys too. You know, they got some good things going on. I felt like it was a little, not condescending, but a little patronizing, tiny bit. But again, you know how you stop that is you go and beat them. That's all.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. It's on us.
Yeah.
We can either, it's in our hands whether or not we shut up Georgia, their coach, their fan base, everybody.
Hey, folks, we're going to be at Ash's Beard and Beer Market, courtesy of our friends at Garage Beer on Friday. It's a special live broadcast of the drive from 3 to 6. I want you to come out and enjoy it with us. Yes, we will have the Voluntary Reaction Keg of Glory T-shirts for giveaway. We've got black ones this year. So you can come go dark mode for your KOG T-shirt while supplies last. That's this Friday for giveaway at Ash's Beard and Beer Market, brought to you by Garage Beer, $2.50 Garage Beer pints, $16 12-packs, and we'll have a QR code that you can scan that will give you a $4 rebate. So essentially $12 12-packs, buck of beer. Come out and get one to go this Friday afternoon at Ash's Beard and Beer Market. We love Garage Beer. I'm about to have my first third one of the day as soon as we get done here. And, man, loving the vibes. Loving the vibes right now here in East Tennessee. The calm before the storm, fellas.
I'm starting to get antsy about it. I've done better this year in years past.
Antsy, like worried, or antsy, like let's get to it?
Yeah, like yeah.
That's how I am. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it too much more. We will over the next few days, but it's like, let's get out there and play, man.
Well, you only got 7 more hours to discuss it.
Yeah, that's fine.
By the way, big show tomorrow. Christopher Gabriel going to join us because we haven't had enough enthusiasm on the show. You know, I don't think folks are on edge enough.
I just wish he'd up the energy level.
I know.
More spice.
I know. We'll try and get him going a little bit. And then in hour number 3, Tony Basilio, our new midday Bob's replacement, is going to join us on the show.
Bastard.
Whoa. Easy now.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
Bob.
Looking forward to Tony joining.
Baskerville versus Basilio live in the cage tomorrow here in hour number 3 of the drive.
That's right.
I love you, Bob, but I'd have to go with. I mean, he's a crazy person from South Philly. So
no, he's crazy.
Bob's got a significant size advantage.
Yeah, Tony do something off the wall though.
Tony he'd fake an injury, and lead you to believe like, hey man, you need a hand up, and then he'd kick you in the groin.
He would go the old Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Oh, he's coming to
he's
coming to the ring with a set of brass knucks in his wrestling shorts.
Texter says Willie Moe teaching those boys to finally turn their heads when the ball is coming their way.
I've never understood the Willie Moe. I mean, all the guys done. Granted, I would not be very happy if he was our defensive coordinator again. But
I understand the criticism. It's a very casual take, in my opinion, because of what you just said. Yes, this is the Peter principle in action, where not a great defensive coordinator, not an elite one, not the kind that you need to succeed at this level. He wasn't very good at Georgia. But as a secondary coach, as a defensive backs coach, Willie Martinez has been very good. I mean, just look at the guys that I'm watching the Vikings play Monday Night Football the other night. By the way, what a comeback by them. Theo Jackson in there because the injury to Harrison Smith.
Yeah.
Like,
He's got guys that he developed and coached
guys
up
that
all
were
over the
not
NFL.
high.
No,
Cam Sutton was not
3-star,
super highly touted. Neither was Theo Jackson.
3-star.
Justin Coleman,
Manuel
back in the day, Manuel Mosley. Yeah, I mean, like and then just the job that he's done since he's been back under Heupel. When you look at Theo Jackson and then bringing in Jermod McCoy, who was like he ended up at
Ricky Gibson.
Well, there was a reason that he was at Oregon State to begin with, right? And then, like, it's not like Ohio State and Bama were trying to get him, but he comes here, and like I think Martinez deserves a lot of credit for that. You get Colton Hood, and then look at this Redmond kid. We'll see what he ends up being, but
been great so far.
Yeah, I mean, and again, not highly touted. Like nobody was when you were looking at our commitment list on signing day last year. Like that was none of us talked about Ty Redmond.
Yeah,
he's had the biggest impact from that class so far.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, he's as good as he's developing the talent at his positions that he coaches as good as anybody else on the staff. So I don't get it. Some people have a bee in their bonnet about him.
I think they did. I've not heard much of that criticism lately. I think people have walked it back. Now, if Gunnar Stockton drops 300 yards passing on a Saturday,
there'll be a lot of them lined up waiting to talk to us on VR.
There will, but I think that criticism is. I think Willie's getting his flowers nowadays.
Deserve it.
Stay with us. Hour number 3 of The Drive coming up next here on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive.
It's Tennessee and Georgia, Saturday afternoon in Neyland Stadium, and this week's Fan Run Football Friday live show is at Ash's Beard and Beer Market, presented by Garage Beer. Join us for a live broadcast of The Drive, Friday from 3 to 6 at Ash's Beard and Beer Market on Kingston Pike in Lions View. We'll have $2.50 pints of Garage Beer and Garage Beer Lime, as well as a QR code that you can scan to get a 12-pack of Garage Beer to go for just $12. Plus, we'll be giving away a Garage Beer prize pack, including a sweet retro tailgate chair, pint glass, hats, t-shirts, koozies, stickers, and more. And we'll have your Fan Run Voluntary Reaction Keg of Glory t-shirts to give away as well. It's The Drive this Friday from 3 to 6 at Ash's Beard and Beer Market, presented by Garage Beer, 100% beer-flavored beer. It's football time at Tennessee, so crack open a cold beer that doesn't fumble the flavor. Garage Beer is 100% beer-flavored beer. No gimmicks, just cold beer. Built for bonfires, backyards, and beating Bama. Garage Beer is proud to be brewed right here in the Volunteer State. So pick up a 12-pack today and look for The Drive celebrating Football Fridays at select Garage Beer headquarters around town this fall. American-owned, Tennessee-brewed Garage Beer. 100% beer-flavored beer.
Tired of waiting for the weekend or good weather to play around? From casual to committed, Back 9 Golf has got you covered. Open to the public and offering flexible membership opportunities, they offer 24/7 access to 5 different simulators, providing cutting-edge technology, instant swing feedback, fun mini games, and a wide variety of courses to choose from. Perfect for that solo round you want after work, or swing by with food and drinks for an afternoon with friends and family. No stressful tee times, no rain delays. It's Back 9 Golf your way. Book your tee time now at theback9golf.com.
Dick's House of Sport at Westtown Mall is a destination devoted to sport, and it's your destination for exclusive events and experiences. Come visit a store like no other. Check out our 40-foot rock wall, golf performance center, HitTrax batting cage, and outdoor turf field. You can now rent our space for private events and birthday parties. Learn more about our events and exclusive product launches on Facebook and Instagram at Dick's House of Sport KNX. Dick's House of Sport, proud partner of Tennessee Athletics.
At Knoxville Insurance Group, they understand the challenges many consumers face when searching for insurance coverage. That's why whether it's for you, your family, or your business, they create a coverage plan specifically for your unique needs. Knoxville Insurance Group is an independent firm, which means they aren't beholden to just one insurance company. They search multiple companies, acting as your negotiator to find you the best possible policy and price. Start a quote in minutes at KnoxvilleInsuranceGroup.com or call them today at 865-694-9788.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Is that old tree in your yard starting to lean a little too much? Branches hanging over your roof? Don't wait until it's too late. Call ECR Total Landscapes today. At ECR Total Landscapes, we specialize in safe, professional tree removal, trimming, and storm damage cleanup. So if you've got trees that need to go, now is the time to give us a call. Plus, we're offering free stump grinding now through the end of the year when you use or mention promo code FANRUN. That's right, free stump grinding for FanRun Radio listeners. At ECR Total Landscapes, we live up to our name by offering total landscape services. In addition to tree cutting, we also offer a wide range of landscape installation services and custom monthly maintenance packages that create stunning outdoor spaces tailored to your vision. Give us a call today to schedule a free estimate at 865-384-2012 or just visit us online at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
What's the difference between an ordinary EV and a Mercedes-Benz EV? The feeling. Electric is what gets you there. Mercedes-Benz is what moves you in ways no other automaker can. Feel the freedom of the superbly versatile 7-seater EQB. Revel in the inspired, customizable comfort of the EQE sedan. Sense the brilliant intelligence of the EQE SUV. Discover the boundless capability of the EQS SUV. And luxuriate in the flagship meets spaceship magnificence of the EQS sedan. Every Mercedes-Benz electric vehicle offers the very latest MBUX voice-activated AI software, as well as remote access to a whole host of functions via the Mercedes Me Connect app. The vehicle's electric, the feeling all Mercedes, the choice all yours. Test drive a Mercedes-Benz electric today at your local dealer or learn more at mbusa.com/EQ.
It's time for The Drive's Top 5 at 5.
Quitting time on your Wednesday, 5:01. Here on Fan Run Radio, and time for your Top 5 at 5. It's brought to you this afternoon by Knoxville Smiles. Here's Walker Smith.
Thank you. At number 1, SEC coaches expressed support Wednesday for the proposed move of college football's transfer portal window from December to January, arguing it's the best option even if it conflicts with the college football playoff schedule. This comes in response to Ohio State coach Ryan Day saying he was not a fan of the proposal to open the transfer portal window immediately after the CFP. Brian Kelly said in response, "I'm sorry, there's no crying on the yacht."
Brian Kelly, the voice of a generation. Now, is this guy being a little overexposed at this point? I know there's a vacuum without Saban in this league, but I kind of feel like Kirby is the guy to step into it. Why is Brian Kelly getting all this mic time?
It's too much, man. I'm not a fan. Just not. I
mean, Kirby, when he talks to the media, he's very he's matter of fact, says what he thinks about the game. Brian Kelly actively tries to make a name for himself in the media. It feels like.
I hate them both equally.
I'm sorry. What I've already forgot. What was he commenting on? The
transfer portal window changes. Ryan Day came out and said, "Hey, we shouldn't do this. It's too complicated to try and build next year's roster during the college football playoff and all of that scenario." But SEC, all the SEC
what's his solution?
He doesn't have one.
I mean, there's no good solution to it. I mean, they don't like the transfer portal after spring practice. They don't like it before. I mean, they're just moving it back a little bit. At this point, it's really only a problem for the last 2, maybe the last 4 teams that would still be playing during that point. At that point, and I guess that's what Kelly's saying. There's no crying on the yacht. It's hey, man. Oh, I'm so sorry. You don't get to spend as much time as the rest of the sport focusing on building your roster for the next season while you're competing for a national championship. I think you'll just have to make that work.
Yeah, I think you can deal with it. You can build a roster during that time. You just did it. People just did this. It is what it is. I feel like having one portal is the better way to go, though. So, surprisingly, we agree with Brian Kelly for a change.
Maybe he isn't overexposed.
Maybe
the world needs more Brian Kelly.
Maybe. I won't agree with you there, though. At number 2, there are a couple of notable injuries in college football heading into Week 3. At Missouri, quarterback Sam Horn underwent surgery to repair a fractured tibia in his right leg and is done for the year. Elsewhere, Iowa has lost tight end Addison Ostrenga to an Achilles tendon injury, and he is done for the season as well. In Alabama, they announced that wide receiver Ryan Williams should be available to play Saturday's game against Wisconsin after missing last week's contest against Louisiana Monroe with a concussion.
Wasn't Sam Horn the guy who's like a baseball player? Wasn't he committed here?
He's a baseball player. The Dodgers drafted him. His draft rights in the MLB are with the Dodgers.
I feel like he was committed here, or maybe it was between us and Mizzou, and then he ended up going play. Yeah, he was committed here, and we were excited about it, but it was also, well, he's going to go play baseball anyway, so he can't get too excited about it, which he did, and there you go.
At number 3, some news and notes from around the NFL. The Jaguars and Liam Cohen said they plan to play Travis Hunter more on defense in the upcoming weeks after the number 2 pick played only 6 snaps at cornerback with the Jaguars in the season opening game. Elsewhere, 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy is dealing with a left shoulder and toe injuries and is, quote, a long shot to play against the Saints, Coach Kyle Shanahan said.
Bring me Mac Jones.
It's going to be multiple weeks. I don't know if it's going to be out multiple weeks, but from everything I'm hearing is the Brock Purdy stuff is going to be a problem for more than just 1 week.
Beginning to think this football game is dangerous.
A little bit.
All these injuries. My goodness.
Certain person had Christian McCaffrey on their fantasy team. He had 31 touches.
Which one of you guys drafted him in the station league? You did, Bob?
Yes.
Not me. No.
8th pick. I couldn't pass him up at that point.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
It's going to last all season, Russ.
I admire the optimism.
He's going to rain down hell on everyone.
I admire the optimism.
Injured reserve?
I don't agree, but
meanwhile, I'm scurrying trying to find who has Brian Robinson.
Dude, I don't want to. I've got 3 fantasy teams. The first time, I can't handle 2 fantasy teams, and I let somebody talk me into being in a 3rd league this year. I went 0-3. I hate all of my teams. I'm going through my rosters today. This is stupid. Nobody's on the scrap heap. There's nobody there. It's like Kenneth Gainwell and that Miles Austin, whoever the Calvin Austin is on.
If you see Gainwell down there, you're scraping the bottom.
Those are the best options in all 3 leagues. I'll just stick with the crummy players I've got. My problems.
At number 4, 3 basketball players who spent time with either Fresno State or San Jose State were permanently banned by the NCAA on Wednesday as a part of a gambling investigation. Michael Robinson, Steven Vasquez, and Jalen Weaver were deemed permanently ineligible by the NCAA. All 3 players were released from their teams and are no longer enrolled at their schools following the investigation. In the ruling, the NCAA determined, quote, the student athletes bet on their own games, won another's games, and or provided information that enabled others to do so during the 24-25 regular season.
That's my first question to CG tomorrow. It was what's going on with all the reprobates out there in Fresno?
I'm sure it's a big story out there.
Exactly.
Well, this is, we're all concerned about something like this happening at Tennessee or in the SEC or, in the NFL, NBA, and all this stuff. But it feels like that's probably I won't say best way because I don't condone this, but the easiest way to get away was these mid-major games where players can make bets and they can talk to their buddies on other teams and exchange information and place wagers where it's not going to draw the attention of the authorities, but it is manipulating these games and these betting lines.
Mid-major teams that are mid, that you're not paying attention to. I agree.
Do we know, they're betting on their own teams? Does it say were we talking about throwing games and stuff? Or?
It does. It said that they bet on their own games. They bet on each other's games, and they provided information to help bet on those games. Not exactly which sides they were for or what it was, but that's what they did. So they're never going to play athletics again. It's just done.
Such a shame.
I know. You got it. Like, it's dumb it's even dumber in the NFL, but like it seems like people try harder to hide it in the NFL.
And I'm sure it's a story that every coach at every school and every franchise across America this week. Well, they're bringing it up in team meetings. They're saying, I'm sure I don't think Rick Barnes has to worry about this, but I'm sure that he's telling his team, look what happened to these guys. Like Walker just said, these guys, their careers are over. They'll be playing church league basketballs, like the highest form of competition these guys will be able to engage in for the rest of their lives. They threw it all away. What, for $50? They said this kid bet $50 that he would score 11 points on a fantasy sleeper site.
It's just not worth it. It's not. And at number 5, never before seen video shown during a House committee hearing, reported shows what a congressman called, quote, an orb surviving a missile strike off the coast of Yemen. Representative Eric Burleson said that the video from October 30th, 2024 was provided to him by a whistleblower. Burleson said the newly obtained 2024 footage shows an MQ-9 Reaper drone launching a Hellfire missile at an object, which he described as an orb, leading to a noticeable deflection and partial disintegration of the object. The fragments were seen drifting along with it, and a reaction that is added to the mystery of its nature.
It's a UFO.
Yeah.
And we fired a missile at it, and you can watch the missile bounce off for us. We are not alone.
Off?
That kind of bounced off.
Yes.
Like a kind of rubbery thing. It just doink.
Kind of.
Well, you can kind of see the Hellfire explode, but it doesn't really do anything to the...
Bob, what's your opinion on UFOs? Is the truth out there?
I didn't know that we had Neil Tyson deGrasse doing the headlines here. That came out of nowhere with the orb. I like it.
Was
reported.
You really just wanted to read a story that allowed you to say the word orb on the radio, right?
Of course.
Please don't question him on...
I'm not questioning it.
It's in the top 5. It's a good one. Way to go, Walker.
Not saying otherwise.
Saying aliens aren't interested.
Dude. Nobody's passing judgment.
No one is wondering about aliens out there.
I mean, quite frankly, they've been tracking that other object, Bob, with the James Webb Telescope that apparently has changed trajectory and appears to be festooned with blue lights.
Festooned. The orb is festooned?
No, this is a different UFO.
What does that even? What does festooned mean? I don't know. I've
Like
never
lit
heard
up.
that word.
It's an old word.
Only old people know this word.
It just happened to know
An old word for old people.
Shut up, Walker.
I haven't heard of Bear. I haven't heard about this one though. The one that was festooned.
I can send you guys the clip real quick. It's
Do you believe Bob Lazar's claims?
Who is Bob Lazar?
You don't know who Bob Lazar? I mean, there's certain things that you're just going to have to bone up on here, Bob. If you're going to,
is this what Supernatural Wednesdays or what? I mean,
did you never? What was it? Was it Coast to Coast? You never listened to
Art
that?
Bell?
Art Bell.
I sent you guys the video.
With Art Bell.
No, Bob Lazar is a former, I don't know, engineer or something who claims to have worked on UFOs at Area 51. Tells a very compelling story. He's also convicted of various forms of fraud and other provable
Was he
lies.
really?
Well, that's besides the point.
But yeah, on the UFO story, Bob, very convincing.
Tell you what, I just watched another episode of Alien Earth last night.
Yeah.
And I'm scared to death if there's ever the notion that there's other life forms that could maybe come
That's
here.
my whole point. We sent out that Voyager thing with a map and directions to our planet. What the hell are we thinking?
It's like leaving the front door unlocked at night.
Yeah, sure. Come on in here.
Murder my family.
Put the entire planet, subjugate our entire planet, mine all our resources, wipe us out altogether. We just need to be quiet, man. Sit over here in our little corner of the universe.
You don't want to
send out
explore?
invitations.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got to get off this rock at some point.
We could never. I mean, where are we going to go? moon?
That's why we have to keep pushing the boundaries of science so that we can figure the answer to that question out.
There's a scene in this show where Timothy Olyphant, who I love, he plays like an android in this, and so
Olyphant does,
yeah. So he's very, very, he's very binary in terms of it's like just logic, nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking with somebody. He goes, "You realize you're just food, right?" That's what he called a human, was food.
That was the best Twilight Zone episode, To Serve Man. Look it up, kids.
Really?
Yeah. Do you like Twilight Zone?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that was good stuff. There is a 7-mile long object though, Russ. It apparently it's got like blue lights on it, and it's changed directions.
Where?
I don't know exactly where it is, but
a 7-mile long object in the sky in our atmosphere?
No, not in our atmosphere. It's
in
traveling
space?
through our solar system.
Sounds like a comet.
They thought it was a comet until it started doing things that comets don't do, like slowing down and changing directions.
It's true.
It's more indicative of a spacecraft.
We got some clarification on Sam Horn, by the way, on the text box.
Yeah.
Sam Horn was never committed here, but his dad is former Vol tight end David Horn.
Really?
Oh.
Small world.
David Horn, who caught and scored the only touchdown for Tennessee in the 1992 game against Alabama that I was at. Yeah.
What a
Boy,
pull. My God.
They were so good that year. Their defense that year was...
Remember they knocked out poor Heath right at the end of the game. He kind of stood up and he didn't know what planet he was on. Was that 10? Was it 10 or 11 of 11 of the defensive starters were drafted?
Yeah, they were pretty good. They were drafted and all had to take pay cuts when they went pro. That is the Top 5 at 5. It's brought to you by Knoxville Smiles. It's where I go for all my dental work. If you have a dental need, maybe you've got a sore tooth that's giving you issues, go see Knoxville Smiles. They can help you out and solve any problem that you have. Also, now through the end of the year, they are offering half-price whitening with a cleaning. So you can kill two birds with one stone there. Yeah, you want to go and get your teeth whitened, it's half price at Knoxville Smiles with a regular cleaning appointment. Call today, 865-539-1776. That's 539-1776. Or you can book online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles. Coming up, we're going to visit with Pete Nakos of On3 Sports. He had a piece today where he had an interview with Joey Aguilar's father. It feels like Pete Nakos has been at the center of all this Tennessee quarterback drama for months now.
From the get, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was...
That's right.
He got it. It was Big Nick called him a rather disparaging name, as I recall.
Yes, he did.
You didn't call him Pete.
You just don't call someone that.
No, it was very
you really
rude.
don't.
Like
Truly.
a witch, but not a witch.
Yeah, not quite that.
No.
I mean, that's not a very nice word.
No, you shouldn't say it.
Joey Aguilar's pops would never.
No, it's one of Bear's favorite words, though.
No, that's a word abused, but it's not my favorite by far.
Hey, on the text box, Bear, I think this is Volpool says we are not alone. Bob said that on the text box. We are not alone.
We're not.
It's damn terrifying if you ask me.
Stay with us. The drive continues. Pete Nakos coming up next here on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive.
Follow us on Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it these days at Fox Sports Knox, Fox Sports Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Yeehaw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789.
Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Are you tired of waiting on interest rates to drop before you start saving money? I'm Chris Burleson with University Lending Group, and I've got a better way. With a traditional closed-end mortgage, most of your payment goes straight to interest, not your balance. But with my Smart Loan, every deposit you make cuts your principal immediately and reduces interest in real time. On average, my clients pay off their mortgage in just 7 years. Call me today at 865-388-7634 or visit smartloantn.com and let's turn your income into financial freedom. NMLS number 332941.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced, Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service. 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit matlocktireservice.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
Hey, Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
With over 60 years of experience in the industry, Merritt Garage Doors has a wealth of expertise in commercial overhead doors in the East Tennessee area. Merritt offers a wide range of door styles like sectionals, rolling steel, high speed, and sheet doors. They also supply and install a wide range of dock equipment. If your business is in need of overhead doors, no matter the type, look no further than Merritt Garage Door, Knoxville's best and most trusted overhead door company. Contact them anytime for a free estimate at 865-933-5319 or online at merrittgaragedoor.com.
Good afternoon. Trying to clean up an accident out here on Pellissippi Parkway westbound before you get to North Shore. It's got traffic slow coming in from
of On3 Sports is on the line. Good afternoon, Pete. How are you, sir?
I'm good. What's going on, guys?
Hey, man, nice to talk with you. Been following your work. It's been a big year for you. As we were just talking during the break, I mean, it feels like you have been at the center of all this Tennessee quarterback drama going back to spring practice.
Yeah, it wasn't my intention, but somehow it seems like that's how it's worked out.
Well, take us back through it, because I know you've got a piece with Jose Aguilar, Joey's father, out on On3 today, but I'd forgotten the details. Bob was walking me through it here. Going all the way back, you had a story, one of the first reports about Nico looking at going into the portal, and then you got into some bizarre exchange, as I recall, with his father or his agent or somebody on Twitter. Isn't it weird how much stuff happens so quickly now, Pete, that like stuff that happened 3 months ago, it feels like it happened 5 years ago?
Yeah, it feels like it was like 18 months ago. It was 4 months ago. So yeah, we had the first story on the whole situation. We kind of broke it open per se. We reported that they were in active NIL negotiations. I think it was like 72 hours before the orange and white game. Said that it was unclear if he was going to enter the transfer portal. Outlined that Nico had a great relationship with Josh Heupel, but it was clear that they were looking for a salary bump. A new coworker, Chris Lowe, later reported at ESPN, but now he's at On3. Chris said that there had been some efforts in the winter to get more money too. And then, I don't think ever in my wildest dreams I could have imagined that Nico was going to not show up at practice the next day and skip town. So that's that. And in terms of, his father and me, I didn't really partake in any social media conversations, but some things were definitely said about me.
Let's move forward, though, to this piece that you dropped today, which I found interesting because we've been talking about it all week. Now, what's been going on here is Joey's mother, Lydia, has been very active on social media, and the story is just great. And it's such a polar opposite of what was going on in Knoxville back in the spring. It feels like a quarterback who, A, is delivering on the field, but B, is very, very happy and, you know, a lot of gratitude about being here and being a part of things. So when I saw this piece and saw that, excuse me, that Joey's father had spoken to you, I just found that interesting from a perspective standpoint, because we hadn't heard a whole lot from Jose. And I'd love to hear how that all kind of came to pass.
Yeah, that family could not be more grateful to be Tennessee Volunteers, part of the Vol family, however you want to put it. I mean, Jose was just so honest with me in terms of, listen, if Nico doesn't make the decisions he makes, there's no way we're ever at Tennessee. So he's not going to speak, any ill will about Nico. But they could not be more thankful that they're hanging out on Rocky Top this season, and they love it. And, I thought it was interesting too. Joey's dad kind of went out of his way to mention that Josh Heupel and his wife have really done they've been very grateful for what Josh has done to kind of help Joey feel comfortable in Knoxville and his family. And, obviously things have gone very well on the field to this point. We'll see how things go against Georgia, but it's clear that, Joey Aguilar loves the fact that he's going to be a Vol for life and loves the idea of playing at Tennessee.
It's just so wild to think about him sitting there at UCLA and a part of that situation. And, certainly Tennessee fans would not know who Joey Aguilar was if Nico had never left. And you really get the feeling that this is working out well for both parties. I don't know. I mean, it remains to be seen how well it works out for Nico, but certainly for Tennessee, there was a lot of uncertainty in the offseason, Pete, where it's like, I don't know, how good is this kid going to be? Is Tennessee going to take a step back in terms of quarterback play? We'll see what happens this weekend, but so far it feels like not only has Tennessee not missed a beat, there is the hope, and again, we'll see how this transpires the rest of the season, but there's the thought that, hey man, Tennessee might have actually upgraded in this situation. Certainly Joey upgraded his situation.
Yeah, I thought his dad put it well. He said Joey's been doubted his whole life, and people still want to doubt him now. And, Joey's going to go out there and try to prove everyone wrong this weekend. So I think that, my personal opinion here, I think he's done a hell of a job in the first 2 weeks of just looking comfortable in the offense and tossing the ball around. And I love how they've been able to really take advantage of his arm and toss the ball downfield. Feels like at times like last year that just wasn't on the table for the offense. And, Joey Aguilar and Hendon Hooker are not the same player by any means, but there's just flashes of that, OG Josh Heupel offense at Tennessee that I feel like we're starting to see in the first few weeks of the season, that I'm really excited to see what that all looks like on Saturday against a Georgia team that's, from everything I watched and believe, I think is a legitimate, top 10 team and is going to contend for a national title. So, I'm excited. I know the Aguilar family's excited, and I know Joey's really comfortable and happy at Tennessee.
Yeah, I think one of the things we talked about that your article revealed, even me as somebody who follows the program pretty closely, and I talked about it with some other guys at the station, what we didn't know were some of the other schools that might have expressed a little bit of interest in Joey, and it actually kind of further validates like Tennessee was onto something when you think of schools, programs like Ole Miss and Tulane that were in the mix as well. I found that really interesting. Again, I had not heard that at all.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that at all, which is why I definitely, made a point to ask and include it in the story. And, Tulane kind of kicked on the tires of every quarterback they could. They knew that the quarterback question down there wasn't answered yet. And then Ole Miss was interesting when I heard that, they have definitely brought in quite a few quarterbacks this offseason, but I thought it was interesting to hear that they're still kind of, looking around at that point in the year.
Pete Nakos with us this afternoon here on 3 Sports, our guest, as we break it down here with Pete. I'm also looking at a story that you guys had over On 3, where it talks about the wide receivers in college football, the highest paid ones, how much they're making and all that stuff. And it gets me thinking, in this NIL revenue sharing era, as teams become more and more professionalized, like, where's the best place to invest your money? And I'm sure that you're looking at other positions as well. Like, I'm guessing quarterbacks are the highest paid. Where do wide receivers rank in that hierarchy?
Yeah, if there's a hierarchy or whatever, it goes quarterback, offensive tackle, edge rusher, and then probably like wide receiver and cornerback. And you can probably flip-flop a couple of those, but offensive tackle and edge rusher are definitely like 2A and 2B to quarterback at 1.
How do you think Tennessee's doing in terms of the arms race and the spending? It's obviously they're doing well, but it feels like there's another level up there that Ohio State, Texas, Michigan, some other schools are playing at. Do you see that gap widening, and where is Tennessee in that list?
I don't know if the gap is widening, but the interesting, macro level view of Tennessee is that when this all started in 2021, Tennessee was very quickly, the leader in the arms race. And, say what you will, an Ohio State, a Texas, they have huge alumni bases. They have some very wealthy donors. Michigan, those schools have caught up. And, I'd say it's fair to say that some have surpassed Tennessee in what they're spending annually. I don't think Tennessee's falling behind because they literally set the precedent of what it looks like to spend at a high level in college football. But, yeah, I think the next step is to, keep spending in that high range. And they've done that. And, kudos to, the collective and athletic director, Danny White, and everyone there who's put in the work to get this roster to where it's at. And, I think so many people this offseason said, Nico left. Who's this quarterback? They're not going to be good this year. But it's clear that, the money has been well spent across the rest of the roster because, I know it's a big one this weekend, and I don't know, maybe my opinion will change depending on how things go this weekend. But through the first 2 weeks, it's one of the better looking teams in college football.
You just talked about, you mentioned Michigan specifically, and I just, saw a post that you guys put up on 3 about Larry Ellison surpassing Elon Musk as the richest man in the world.
Thought he surpassed you, Bob.
No.
No,
he's got some work to do. But what I get at is, Russ used the term arms race, and there's the whole notion of the NCAA starting to intervene or trying to, and the whole College Sports Commission, et cetera. And I still am of the mind that I feel like there's not enough guardrails. And I'd just love to get your take, because you're following this much more closely than we are. And it's like, I do wonder what this is all going to look like 3, 4, 5 years from now, unless they get some level of true governance on this. And I mean, I don't want to get on too much of a soapbox, but I'd love to get your take on, do we feel like we're making some progress in kind of tightening the reins on this, or is it just got the possibility to get further and further kind of out of control, and it's going to be truly the haves and the have-nots?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's something I basically get paid to think about every day. The House settlement, the idea behind it all with revenue sharing was everything was going to become more unified and more uniformed, and the College Sports Commission was going to serve as an NIL governing body. And we're 3 months in, and it just doesn't feel like anything's really changed. Yes, deals are going through the NIL Go clearinghouse, and yes, some deals are being stopped, but cash is still flowing to athletes. The NCAA and the clearinghouse really have not stepped in and really come down with major sanctions against an athlete or school in the last 4.5 years to date when it comes to NIL. So I don't know. There's a legislation on Congress that keeps being circulated that might go up for a vote next week. We'll see. I don't know where we're all headed. I think the reality of it too is that Danny White has really been at the forefront of pushing for collective bargaining. And I think at the end of the day, that's going to be the model that is really going to pave the pathway forward for college football. But the bigger question is, how long does it take to get to that, crux of the matter?
Pete Nakos here this afternoon. On 3 Sports is where you can see his work. And Pete, before we let you out of here, got to ask you your thoughts on the big one in Knoxville this weekend. We talked to you so much about the business and the quarterbacks and the personalities. What about the football? Is this the year that Josh Heupel finally gets the Georgia monkey off his back?
I mean, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's so hard to pick against Kirby and Georgia when you know how many games Georgia has won in this series. My big, call it X factor thing I'm looking for going into Saturday is we know the Georgia roster is talented. I think you're always going to have a talented roster with Georgia. Tennessee definitely has some areas that I'm excited about that I think they match up well with. I'm interested to see how the defensive line looks against the Georgia offensive line. Does Jackson Moy go? I think that's a big storyline to watch. But the X factor is is Gunnar Stockton an elite quarterback? Can he get the ball to his weapons? Because if he can't, if he looks like how he did against Notre Dame and the offense sputters, Tennessee's going to be in a great spot. But at the same time, Georgia does have Zachariah Branch and Noah Thomas, who might be 2 of the better wide receivers in the SEC. And if Gunnar Stockton has a good day and gets the ball to them, I don't know how that kind of shuffles out and what that means. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on. I think Gunnar Stockton didn't throw a touchdown against Austin Peay. Some might say that's Kirby just being bland before Tennessee. Others are going to say that that's just a bad performance. I don't know what the answer is, but we're definitely going to have a better idea of the kind of quarterback Gunnar Stockton is by the end of the day, Saturday.
Excellent. Well, Pete, we appreciate the time, man. Everybody go read his thing with Jose Aguilar, comments on the Joey for Nico trade that so far has worked out in Tennessee's favor. One more thing before we let you run here, Pete. With Nico, let's end where we began. Things obviously not going well at UCLA. How do you see this story ending with Nico and college? And there seems to be some thought that, hey, man, UCLA's got a coaching change coming. That's not a good football team. Is there a third school in 3 years in Nico's future? How do you see this playing out?
Your guess is as good as mine. He's going to be draft eligible at the end of the year. The decision made that, college career didn't play out the way some people envisioned. Let's just go get a contract in the NFL and try to be better there. Or is it we need to transfer again? Where do you transfer again? I don't know the answer, guys. I do wonder, I guess I have the soapbox to say this. I do wonder, what comes next for him, though. I know that, he's pushed back on reporting that it was about money leaving Tennessee, whatever. I find that hard to believe, but it is what it is. It was all about trying to get closer to home. It just doesn't seem like it's working out at UCLA. And, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that they turn it around and he has a great season, because at the end of the day, I think, everything that has happened, I'd still like to see Nico be a good football player.
We kind of tend to agree. There's some that want to just see it burned to the ground.
Everyone always asks me, they're like, oh, you must you must want to see him have a terrible season. No, my job is to be a reporter. I reported facts. Things happened. I wish nothing but the best for him. I hope that he wins enough games and UCLA goes to a bowl game. I hope that he throws the ball well enough where he can go to the NFL draft. I don't know, but I'm also, sitting here wondering what the next steps are for him.
Having some firsthand experience with the family, et cetera, I will just leave it as I feel kind of bad for the kid, not the rest, but yeah, it's a tough one for sure.
Pete, we appreciate the time, my man, at Pete Nakos _, and then of course on 3 Sports. We'll do it again soon, man. Thanks.
You bet. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Pete.
Pete Nakos on 3 Sports with us here this afternoon on the program. Nico at Night coming up on Friday night. Hang out at Ash's Beard and Beer Market, have a couple garage beers, go home and get ready for my favorite show.
It has to be on a night where there's not a lot of football. It's like I'm trying to find reasons not
It's
to
an
watch.
appetizer.
I know. I'll watch.
They're a 15-point favorite. I mean, they should look better.
God, if they lose, like Bear said earlier, if they happen to lose to New Mexico.
I mean, Bama was about a 15-point
It's their
favorite
last-
against FSU.
Honest to God, you look at their schedule, it's one of their last real opportunities to get a win.
I said before the season, and that was before those first couple of games. I mean, they were lucky to be a 3 or 4 win team, and now that's diminished even more.
Do you think that there's a chance if this goes really badly and they get halfway the season is 1-5 or something like that, he's running for his life?
He opts out. Nothing would surprise me with that dude, and the brain trust that's counseling him.
I mean, Pete's talking like I'm not. He can have whatever opinion, but the draft. What, I mean, is he going to war? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
the draft.
For him to get drafted, he's going to play this year and probably next year.
You
and
saw
be
what happened to
successful.
Shedeur, and he has a lot of the same or similar question marks just in terms of personality, people around him, all that stuff, and how far that kid was a successful college quarterback. He put up numbers.
Yeah,
like if that's where he was drafted in the 5th round, Shedeur?
5th round, yeah.
Like
he's the emergency.
I'm sorry,
quarterback for
I don't
Cleveland.
see Nico getting drafted at all.
Well, no, and it's funny you should mention him. They also share a lot of the same things that get away from, like, Nico's dad wanting money and the Shedeur show, all the extracurricular stuff. They continue to do things that you can't do if you want to even think about playing in the NFL. Holding on to the ball too long, bailing at the first sign of trouble, not being able to move in the pocket, not being accurate with your throws, and draft.
Stay with us. The drive continues. The shocking conclusion coming up. Speak now, forever hold your peace. 865-966-3435. Your number to get on board. Call or text us today. 865-966-3435. Back to wrap things up after this.
The Drive. Congratulations. You found sports radio that doesn't suck. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Citizens National Bank.
Kick off this football season with a CNB Plus Perks checking account. Move downfield with free online and mobile banking. And cross the goal line with extended evening hours and Saturday banking. Banking at CNB has its perks. Find out more at cnbtn.com.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
Ready to launch your career? Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
Ball fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
The number one problem we see at our clinic is delaying treatment. ED can get worse.
Book your appointment right now. Call 865-544-8220. Prefer privacy? Book online in under 30 seconds at menspronknoxville.com.
At our clinics, men's sexual health is the whole job. Look, I'm a normal guy too. I hate going to the doctor, but we've helped so many guys in here just like you. Even if pills have failed, our medical team is going to take the time to talk you through it. Same day in-house lab, and the treatments, well, they could change your life.
Your local medical team has your back. ED, performance, Peyronie's, size and shape modeling. We tailor what works for you.
I'll get to the point. Can you imagine epic performance and epic sex? Yeah, I said it.
A stronger you is closer than you think. We're available right now. Call 865-544-8220 or book in 30 seconds or less at menspronknoxville.com. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
Are you tired of trying to squeeze your dental appointments in on your lunch break or before you go to work? Here at Knoxville Smiles, we're all about making going to the dentist easier. That's why we're now open until 7 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. To take advantage of our new evening hours, make your appointment now at knoxvillesmiles.com or just call us at 865-539-1776.
Aguilar, the man of the hour, and Jose Aguilar. So much Mama Aguilar and Abuela Aguilar. And hey,
Lydia.
They're great characters. Welcome them to Vol Nation. But where's Daddy Aguilar? I'm glad to see Jose getting some pub this week.
Yeah, it's been a lot of that's what caught my eye. That's why I was like, hell, I'm going to reach out to Pete and see if he'd be willing to come on the show. And he was fast on the response.
I mean, that the whole family, but a special job. I mean, you got to feel like you won the lottery, man. You were at a place for probably not a whole lot of money out in LA where they don't care about football. The stadium's like 20 miles away from campus. And then you end up landing at, one of the crown jewel SEC programs where we're psychotic about it.
Well, one of the things that they said, Nakos wrote in his piece, was that North Carolina had interest in him when he announced he was going into the portal. But unlike our former quarterback, his predecessor, he wanted to get closer to home. I mean, he really did. And he was still, if he was going to be at UCLA, he was still going to be 5 hours away. But that was his motivation, was like, hey, I want to go play and I want to be back in my home state. And then it all kind of fell apart, obviously. So it's good for us, man. It worked out. And again, man, like we've talked about, and I know a lot of people feel this way. If they win this game on Saturday and Joey delivers,
folk hero,
absolutely. I mean, he will be one of the top names in the conversation around here for a very, very long time because he's one of us. That's what we keep saying. That's all. We can all relate to him.
I mean, this kid somehow, if he leads us if we get to 9-3 this year, it's a massive success. From where we were at spring ball,
if they win Saturday, he ascends to Hendo Senko status immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just in the hearts of all fans, like that's, he will be there. Got overtime. Headed your way next on many of these fan run affiliates. Stay tuned for that. Let's work in a few phone calls here as we wrap up. Roberto is next. Good afternoon, Roberto.
Good afternoon, guys. Can you hear me okay?
We got you, man. Go ahead.
Man, you hit all the high points there. So you took away some of my bazooka shots, as it were. But, man, it was nice to hear the king turd of the Atlanta Constipation over there, the Atlanta Journal-Constipation, the king turd. Man, I'm with Bob here. And maybe it's just because I'm looking for it. I don't know if it was condescending as much as it was like, oh, you're a cute little program.
Yeah. Talking about Griff?
Patronizing is what I called it. There is a difference. It's
Patronizing, good word.
It's kind of the same thing, but it's different.
Yeah,
It's
just
more
like, hey kids, you're out there and you're throwing punches. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. Nice try.
Well,
I found it to be somewhat condescending.
That's fine. I mean, I didn't pick up on that. I mean, and for Mike Griffith doesn't need me to defend him, but I mean, they've beaten us 8 years in a row. Georgia is one of the top 2 or 3 programs in all of college football, going on 5 years running now. And Tennessee is good, but we are not on that level. We have a chance to elbow our way into that conversation.
Yeah. Well, I'm just not a big fan of his in general. And it's not that I'm glad you had him on, because I actually thought he did bring up some great points about Tennessee. But yeah, I mean, we're going to see if we have a ball club on Saturday. There's no doubt about it. We'll know. And this fan base knows ball, and they know ball players. And that's one thing, Russ, you said, we'll see last couple of weeks. And I don't disagree with your sentiment. It's very similar to what happened last year, with the exception that, and I wanted to bring this up the other day, and you ran out of time, which is fine. But I think what's different about what we're seeing from Joey Aguilar and what we saw from our former quarterback is that our former quarterback was he had his wide receivers schemed open. And he was a one look, throw the football to that place, if not tuck it and run quarterback. He, as Brooks Austin calls him, a thrower of the football, right? He's a thrower, not a quarterback. We have a guy playing quarterback. He's getting to his second, third, and even I saw on Saturday a fourth read. That's what I'm talking. That's why I'm so optimistic, and why I was so fired up on VR the other night, is because I really see a guy that we win this weekend. We have a viable, breathing Heisman Trophy candidate with a story, and that's all they care about. Have stats, have a story, and it would be pretty cool. It would be pretty cool to be the IT program, and it feels like we're about to climb that mountain and beat that dragon, if you know what I mean. And the dragon gets his hair cut with a Flowbee and has Bama Bang. I'll see you.
Thank you, Roberto. Appreciate it. No, I like that. A thrower of the football versus a quarterback.
Who was the first Tennessee coach that started that throw game stuff?
Butch.
Was it Butch?
Yes.
A throw game.
The throw game. That's what he called
Butch
it.
Jones is ass.
The throw game. So many things.
I don't remember that. A throw game.
Oh, yeah. I do.
Hey, you don't remember that?
Yeah, Bear's right.
Just to make me start, just about start slapping myself like damn Rain Man.
Let's talk about those. Eye discipline.
Absolutely ridiculous.
There was eye discipline. There was gap integrity. There was just so many terms. And I'm sure some of those terms are very real.
Yeah, but I've heard eye discipline from a lot of coaches.
Yeah, it's just, that's for the lay people. It's just for the fans. It's like, knock it off, man. This is more like, he's like, let me talk technically to show you what I know as a coach. It's like, go win a damn game, man.
Easy, Bob.
Don't get me going. Don't get me going.
Evidently,
Bob,
man. I
let's
want you
hear
to
it.
blow a gasket here the last 3 minutes of the show.
Butch Jones is ass.
We'll start.
He gave money to Catholic high school. I mean, Bears alma mater comes out and plays in the Butch Bowl
It's not
every
the damn Butch Bowl.
Friday night here in East Tennessee. And the guy hasn't he paid enough? Hasn't he paid enough than to have Bob Baskerville come on this show and run him down? The guy's coaching at freaking Arkansas State. Like, how much more punishment and humiliation does the man have to go through?
By the way, we saw a little bit of his game this past weekend. We were flipping around to my wife because she listens to the show, and I appreciate the support. And she remembers what we talked about last week, Bear, about Butch's, undergarments. And she said it. She goes, yeah. She goes, he's wearing something.
Yeah.
Be kind.
I told you.
That's a woman's perspective.
Yeah. I was sitting there. You could see it from like 15 feet. I was like, Jesus Christ, he's got a girdle on. There's some underneath that shit.
I wonder if he wears like 1940s men's, like, where he's got like the long boxer shorts with like the socks,
the sock garters, whatever.
Hitch up, and like the big loose dress shirt. I don't even know what that is.
I don't know.
Undershirt.
The one thing I noticed is the soles on his shoes look. He had abnormally small feet, and it looked like he was wearing lifts. Like he's not that tall.
Absolutely ridiculous.
What is it? Why you got to talk about his small feet?
Yeah.
Like, what is it about his
personal
feet
appearance
that
is not
make you
show fodder? How
attracting
many
your
times
eyes?
does this have to be said?
Because it's funny.
Well, it just feels like there's something a little different about Butch's feet that's been attracting Bear a little bit.
I think
Talked about it a lot.
It's
Are you a foot man?
obviously no. It's just absurd to look at a grown ass man who's got like 8-year-old size feet and tiny little feet. I'm sorry, it's rather noticeable.
I don't
Hey,
know if it is
maybe you ought
noticeable.
to examine yourself, Walker, over there. Okay, buddy.
Examine.
Yeah. Your program and what's going on with it.
I don't have a.
Yeah, you
I
do.
personally don't look at other people's
You're
feet.
0-3.
and
That was a
judge them by
wild
their
deflection
feet.
of
You're 0-3, buddy.
attention.
I don't understand what he's trying to
He
say.
wants to talk about Arizona State, evidently.
Oh, well,
I
we
haven't
already
even
talked
mentioned
about
that.
If you were
You
here
got-
Monday, we would have talked about it.
Oh, we're talking about Webb?
well, we
I'm sorry.
we can't talk about Arizona State getting beat. Are you
we
serious?
did talk about it.
We'll talk about it again.
We
I wasn't
did talk
here. I want
about
to
it.
talk about
Well,
it
it's whose
again.
fault is that? I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, you talked a big game last week, and quite frankly, I told you so.
You told me so. What did
Yes.
you? You didn't say Mississippi State was going to lose.
Yes,
was
I
gonna
did.
Beat Arizona
And in
State.
fact,
You
I
did
will
not.
take my "I told you so" over you. My first one in our relationship, but I'm taking it. Yes, I am.
You told him what?
Arizona State was going to lose to Mississippi State.
I don't think
I
so.
called it.
You're going to have to show your work on that one.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a thing that happened. You
Yeah.
weren't here Friday.
That's
Doesn't
true.
matter. We talked about it
It
before I
does
left.
matter. You're saying you said something
I
that
didn't
you
say
didn't
I said
say.
it on Friday. No, I'm not.
So you made a prediction on the Arizona State Mississippi State game
Yeah.
on Thursday. That's your
Yeah,
position.
and he was all pumped out about how your coaches were walking around ringing cowbells, all 12 of them. Like that was it. I was just sitting here thinking what a fool you were because 14 people can't compare to 75,000
Where
people.
does this come
ringing
from?
the cowbells, kid.
God, to think this all started with talking about the throw game. That feels like a year ago that we were talking about.
I feel like I touched a nerve bringing up.
Well,
Bears
no,
about people's feet.
I'll tell you what it is.
Georgia week.
When we started
It's
talking about
Georgia
people's
week.
feet.
It's only gonna get worse.
We've had a treaty over here on accountability. Don't tell me to hurry up. I'm in charge over
We
here
got
on this.
30 seconds.
We'll start the music when I want to start the damn music. All right. First of all,
lot of brain damage in this
All
last
right.
segment.
Stay with us. We've got overtime headed your way next for Bear and Bob and Walker. I'm merely Russell Smith. We'll do it again tomorrow right here on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive.
Today, we raise a glass of Jameson Irish whiskey to the sport of football. Here, here!
To Gaelic football, born in Ireland in 1885 in its thrilling blend of soccer, rugby and basketball. On a massive field, 15 players kick or hand pass a round ball to score points over a bar or into a net. No pads, no helmet, no sense.
Here, here!
To college football, which kicked off in 1869 when Rutgers beat Princeton 6-4 in the Battle of New Jersey. With 11 players and helmets and pads, teams battle on a 100-yard gridiron with explosive pass plays and hard-hitting tackles. Unless you're called for targeting.
Here, here! Since 1780, Jameson Irish whiskey has been enjoyed by sports fans all around the globe. Whether your football is Gaelic, American, or even soccer, we can all agree on super smooth Jameson Irish